Hello again, another live one. Well, Disparu is back for his hat-trick of visits to the Sensphere. It's on. It's now. Salt may have had 3 demands or conditions. I have Disparu, myself, and the Queen of the Walk chat about it's Rachael as my conditions for a great show tonight, looking back on the 4 episodes of the war, or the fraw, between the land and the sea, working out what the hell have we just witnessed. It will be spiced up with clips and facts, and I'm sure plenty of fun. So have your favourite tipple with you. We're going in. And just before I start, thank you, John Yulden of Sci-Fi Chronicles. He's fired the fireworks off. Thank you very much. Evening all. So this guy Barkley clearly needs to be supervised anytime he walks past a fish tank in a garden centre. Yeah, get off my guppies. Thank you very much, John. Have a good night. So, I should get them on, shouldn't I? So, welcome one and all. It's been a few months, but he's been a busy chap. Hiya, Disparu.
Hello, it's great to be back. Shame it's not under better times, I suppose, with these kind of episodes. It was supposed to be on last week. I actually think that the first 2 were probably better than these 2, especially episode 4, which I've only just watched today. And kind of like, what? Why? Why does this one exist? You reset the end of the episode to the start of the episode, and for some reason, and I don't know whose idea this was, these are supposed to be the most genius diversity hires from across England, and they decide to capture a fish person on top of a bridge. And at no point think, what if she just goes in the river and swims off?
Or have a bloody net. Just have a net either side. Or shut the Thames flood barrier.
We have underwater weaponry. Yeah, the flood barrier, I mean, mate, she could probably swim over it, I guess. But like, we have submarines and stuff. You are the military. I would expect you to have. There was even talk earlier about sonic weaponry that they can aim into the water. Maybe they'd use that. No, we're just going to stand on a bridge and hope.
But I don't understand what you mean by sonic weaponry. Remember, I was scientific advisor when she didn't know what it was. What's that?
Yes. I tell you, the moment she took over unit and was like, I'm in charge now, like they're out of the frying pan into the fire.
The shit's gonna hit the fan now.
Wait, it turns out though the sonic weaponry can just come from the fish. It's like apparently they can even destroy people's ears in another building. They're just listening on radio. It's a bit odd.
I was getting a bit frightened that I thought we were seeing a bit of a clip of a future Eurovision Song Contest entry for the UK.
Probably. I mean, just think of the quota points right there. They'd be like, look, we will win this just on virtue signaling alone. We've got a blue person.
Yeah, we've got a blue person. She's gender fluid. Win, win, win. Wyoming.
I think that is the ultimate. We've put this in for absolutely no reason story point of all time. In 4 episodes, they mentioned it for a few minutes. Changed again. I think it's just too expensive to employ another actor just to fill the role.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this year, I'll hold back and get poor Rachael on. Queen of the Walk, the red carpet's here, and it's gone all blue. Sorry, Rachael. I never get the colours right.
No, you never get the colours right. It should be red, man.
Deliberate.
Hi, you're right.
Well, you can see we're trying to, shy boy Disparu, we're just trying to get him warmed up.
Well, fair enough. Not that he needs much warming up. He's an old hat at this. He's good at it.
He certainly is. Yeah. And we are well, I'm grateful for anyone who comes on this little blooming show, but thank you very much, both of you, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Especially when you're going to have a laugh, because let's face it, you can't do anything but laugh at this blooming war.
The best thing is for, though, it's always been the case. If they will not make entertainment, you just make it for yourself. That they can either make good stuff or people will turn your crap into good stuff.
That's it.
That's
I mean,
exactly what we're doing, isn't it? I hope
well,
so,
well,
anyway.
exactly, and there's so much to talk about. So tonight, everybody, just so you know, obviously Disparu does his own videos. We all watch them. Highly entertaining stuff. Rachel and me, we do our reviews and we battle it on, don't we? But tonight we will be talking about bits of all 4 episodes. What bothered us, what didn't. I've got a video package that we'll shout at, laugh at, interrupt, the usual. And I've also got a little bit of a highlights package of a show where I inspired, wanting to echo what Disparu does, but I'll be so much down the scale. I'm just attempting my
I copied it anyway. I literally I copied that off Heel vs Babyface and Jay Longbone, and it's not a secret.
Well, this is it. I mean, honestly, it's just great to see. So, Garbage, thank you very much. Garbage, my moderator, does the AI for us. Thank you very much. He's done very well, hit his 400 subs. Disparu Rachel, please check out my latest AI video later tonight. Yes, please do, everybody. He's busting a go. He's gone busters with Tom Baker and everything. Tom Baker tells Billy she's not the doctor. Brendan, we appreciate what you do in the background. Thank you very much. Also, thanks, chat, for being here. Well, yeah, well done, Garbage, and thank you very much. But yes, he does an awful lot for me. You know, he makes all the crazy stuff. So thank you very much, Garbage. So, where do I start?
Which is a weird way to thank someone for a super chat when you think about it. Thank you, Garbage.
Yeah, I know. You're garbage. You are literally garbage. So, thank you for everyone coming on tonight to discuss this. And we all knew what this was going to be up to.
Well, I didn't like that. The one we've just had, it was a long time before we even found out why he's behind fire. And it is just the discussion they had in episode 4, which is like, you're all fire and emotion and passion. It was very tenuous connection to the original marketing.
Oh, well...
I haven't really paid attention to the original marketing.
Yeah, you see, we'll have to up our game tonight, Rachel.
Yeah.
Won't we?
Oh gosh.
Boomer Doug, he's got his channel as well. Man from Uncle. I'll stick to fish fingers and custard. I might be mentioning
still fish fingers involved.
There will be. There'll be a lot more. Thank you very much, Boomer. So, I've worked out why he's called Barkley.
Why? He works at Barkley.
Because if you saw that water pipe that we built, remember, we've got no money in Britain anymore, but we built that water pipe for the meeting with the Homer Aqua. And of course, he's called Barkley. And there was that Barclaycard advert in the 90s. Remember it? The Bellamy brothers, let your love flow. And it starts where you're in the office. There he is. He's just getting stripped down to his undies.
Because wait, this was on the telly? I don't
this
remember.
Was on the telly. It's a brilliant advert.
Hey. Ads used to be a lot different in the 90s.
I was a child in the 90s, so I really can't remember.
Well, I remember, was it Coca-Cola that just used to have like a topless guy washing windows? And then all the women would be out the window for him?
Yep, it was a water cooler moment for the women. That was it, yep. So there he goes. He gets in his Wet n Wild chute. This is how he commutes home from work. The music, Let Your Love Flow, is playing by the Bellamy Brothers, and it's a lawn advert. And he gets into the pipe, and he starts commuting home. He beats all the traffic. He goes around in a water pipe, built very like for the Home Aqua, really. And he goes through libraries. He stops. He's told to be silent. He goes through a grocery store, and he goes all the way home and gets home for his tea. And that was Barclaycard, the advert. So I thought Barkley in the water pipe. That's what I was thinking when I watched episode 1. I was distracted, Disparu.
I was wondering, why have we built a water funnel for them when they can just walk on land? They could just climb out of the river right next door and go up the stairs.
I thought they were cheeky devils, because when we watched episode 3 and 4, they made us go all the way into the ocean. We had to take our own ships, we had to take our own diving bell, and they were going to just meet us near the bottom. We built them water pipes. They haven't met us halfway, I would argue.
Well, they didn't know we could go down that far, and we didn't know we could go down that far until episode 3, because she's saying, don't agree to go down there. It's 5 miles underwater. How are we going to get there? So It was a very strange technological leap, and you don't know how long's passed, whether they've had to invent new technology, or I thought UNIT would come up with some kind of alien stuff. No, they just encased them in metal and sent them down. My favorite bit is when the guy went, we're 7 minutes underwater. All the sunlight's gone. It's like, how do you know? There isn't any windows in your thing. You can't see outside.
I tell you what, that was the worst kind of bonding works do I've ever been. That I remember. God, they were killer, weren't they? You wouldn't want to be surrounded by those people. I mean, is HR that crap?
Yeah.
I mean, they've picked somebody who says India picked me, but I think that they fiddled with the list, and I've only been working here for a few months. Well, so he's a top-notch catch, isn't he?
Well,
we know
he was written as a weak man. Like all of the men in there were weak, and the women were like, "Yeah, we're good, we're fine, we're strong women."
They were worse than that. One of
that scene.
With the Indian guy, the woman next to him was like, "Oh,
shut up!
How did you get on this ship?"
Yeah.
And when the guy went, "Can you all just shut up, please?" I was like, "That speaks for me." That the entire scene, I'm just that guy.
Like, shut up and just get the scene done. Like less than 5 minutes, not what 15 minutes or so, wasn't it? They spent.
I tell you what, there were so many angry women in these 4 episodes. You know, in episode 1 when he said, "I'm an accident," and she said, "I went to St Andrews University," and she was she was a right. Then you've got Kate interrupting everybody in sight. Then you've got Shirley Bingham kicking off just because she's not had a chance to go and fly in the TARDIS. Honestly, these women are really whoa.
The worst was his ex-wife at the start of episode 3. The daughter is in the room. Like, when it pans back and you see the daughter, I'm like, you are horrible. She's there, and she's like, you're gonna die, you're gonna get crushed under the water, the world's gonna end, everything's gonna get destroyed. And he's about to go under the water, you're supposed to be calming him down, and you're like, no, everything's awful. And it's like, you're telling your daughter she's about to lose her father, which like, he's trying to. That was one of the F scenes that I actually really liked. Was you saw the pressure on him, and then he broke. And unlike Cutie, that was crying all the time, you actually like, no, this is a chink in his armor, like a legitimate kind of stress. And he's like, I have to be like this for you. And you see him briefly crack, and then he pulls himself together. He's like, no, I need to do this. And for the rest of the episode, he's strong. That was actually good characterization. But then he's just surrounded by all of these incompetent people, which are supposed to be at the top of their game. And I'm like, I don't know why you're contrasting him like this. For instance, the guy, as they go into the ship, and he got, a great man once said, we can be heroes. And then he just goes inside. I'm like, wait. I've heard war speeches. That is not the most inspirational speech I've ever heard.
No, that was not Henry V. It wasn't.
No, he was quoting David Bowie. I found out after a lot later.
But it was like that moment in Armageddon. They're all in the orange suits and they're all striding out. You know, they're off to get that comet, and then of course we can be heroes, David Bowie. So you've got that kind of strange mix of that pop culture, and then they're all winchbags.
That was a kind of a comedy that also included the lines when he's on top. He's on top of a nuclear bomb, and he's like, "I just wanted to feel the power between my legs." Like that is not meant to be a serious thing. I get the feeling at this, it's meant to be a more somber moment.
Oh God!
It's like with the crane operator as they're dropping them over the ocean. And the captain's like, good luck, everybody. And then the crane operator goes, good luck, everybody. It's like, you don't have much confidence in yourself, do you?
I know, and they dropped that diving bell like some bloody way. I mean, that would have absolutely knocked them for 6. Plus salts when she's in that prisoner of war metal tube. I mean, we all know when you've carried a fish, you've got to be careful. You can't give them headaches. You can't whack them about. Honestly.
Also, it's on a rope. You're lowering it down anyway, 5 miles. Saving the 3 seconds of dropping it into the surface just seems like a bit pointless.
I've learnt a lot from that Titan. It was a Titan 3, the one that imploded.
Yeah, I wonder if Pete McTeer thought, well, I'll put that piece of information in there because that's what happened to the Titan.
Oh yeah, because in interviews they said we did research. They Googled. I mean, honestly, research.
It wasn't exactly a secret that happened.
How much research did they do when in episode 4 they said it exploded? It's like, no, it imploded. Like, you're supposed to be the advanced scientist.
Shirley Bingham, I love her. No, Julie Coonan, thank you very much. It was worth making this show so that we can watch your reviews. The show is doomed anyway, so we may as well enjoy ourselves. Of course, Julie, and there's some great. Well, you can hear already. Everybody's up for it. It's like that sometimes when you get a show as bad as this. John Yulden, I have seen today people saying Gatwa's doctor would choose Barclay, a man with a fish fetish. Yeah, I can see that. Well, oh God, where do you go with where do you go with this? He's gone. His knees have gone. No.
At least he had like good reason for liking her, because he said, I feel like I know you. I feel like I don't know you at all. I feel like I've always known you. It's like, well, you've contradicted basically everything you've said about her simultaneously in that sentence.
Which is
No,
it?
I just there's so much to go into. I mean, I know we're shooting around, but yeah, there is so much to go into. We're already hitting what I was going to ask you about. Oh my God! And the question was about this. So Disparu, you've seen 4 episodes. You've done your reviews on them. You're probably doing the 4th one at the moment. I say unforgettable moments, but something where it's going to take a bit to erase it from your brain from what you've seen.
Well, if you want 2 moments I liked, I think the best things for me so far has been where this guy comes in and just starts nagging him, and he goes into the swimming pool and screams. Like, we've all been there. Like, you're just surrounded by people piling stuff on. It's like, I've got enough on my plate, just go away. And then, like I said, when he's talking to his wife and you just see him crack, it's like, it's one of the very rare moments where they're actually taking the male role and be like, you're supposed to be somebody's rock, but at some point you need somebody who's going to be there. It's like, okay, you can talk to me about it. And he had absolutely nobody. He's like, for some reason, his ex-wife is getting dragged around the entire world, which has got to be your idea of hell. And you just see that one moment, and then it's the way he pulls himself together at the end of the scene. So I like both of those. But for the others, it's just been... I think the most insane thing to me is that the Sea Devils arrived. They dumped all the trash, basically any inanimate object from the sea, onto everybody. Around the world, on every city, they will have murdered millions, if not hundreds of millions of people, and it's never been mentioned. Not once. Nobody talks about the corpses, or the deaths, or why did you do this to us? And so now you end up in a place where a load of people are in a room and they're talking that we will all starve to death if we can't go over the water because we don't grow enough food in our own nations to feed ourselves. So we're going to have to defend our ships. And Kate Lethbridge-Stewart is like, why are you talking about defending yourselves? We're in diplomacy. It's like, yeah, but what if that fails? What if they kill hundreds more millions of us? We're going to need some kind of plan. And she's like, we don't need to do any of this. The most unforgettable moment is just that there is obviously no one in this room which questions them. There is no one with a different opinion that goes, this does not make sense. They've got their ideological vision, they've got the point that they want to make, and they haven't fact-checked it or sanity-checked it. They're so convinced in it that they're willing to make any kind of weird story just to justify it. And they essentially need someone who disagrees with them to go, but I think this is wrong, even if it's for the entire purpose of strengthening their own argument. Even if it's to push the same point of view, they should strengthen their position.
I mean, I was sat there like a little Doctor Who fan from the 70s going, John Pertwee's Third Doctor went in the diving bell in 2 minutes and met the Sea Devils. Why do we do a whole episode in the diving bell? Bring the Doctor back? We'd have had a faster episode. That was what made me.
That scene just drives me nuts.
This is a problem with modern streaming, is that they seem to think they're like films, that they got you for the entire time and so can span out the story over the time and you don't have a right to leave, when they're actually far more like YouTube, that people can leave your channel whenever they want. They don't owe you any of their time at all. And so TV used to be set up to, even if you had an overarching story, each episode would be its self-contained story that was satisfying in and of itself. And they've entirely forgotten the mechanics of making television. So now you'll just have an episode where nothing happens, and they don't seem to think it's a problem.
No, I mean,
that's one of the things that makes it pretty unforgettable as a story as a whole, because nothing is happening. Nothing is really happening, is it? Like, they don't half rely on. They say that the viewers of today, they don't watch the classic stories because they can't focus on the classic stories. You know, given the fact that they're a bit more like this. So why are they writing something like this where they have to focus on it? It makes no sense to me. Why would you do that if they're that impatient and that stupid, like you're making them out to be? Then don't write something like this.
To me, they've looked very cynically. They've diverted 5 hours of Doctor Who money somewhere else, so they've got the ownership of it and taken it away from the Doctor Who brand that they're bored with. And then on top of that, they've sat down. Remember when I was talking about a few weeks ago that basically Pete McTighe gave away that RTD was writing the storyline for the spin-off before he wrote the first episode of Doctor Who. I mean, dear God. I mean, that's priorities in the gutter. But then on top of that, this is classic padding. It's cynical. It's cynical playing of the audience. They've got 5 episodes that they can play with. They've grifted off, the Sea Devils and other people's ideas. And then they go, right, well, we'll call it the war, but it's the big build-up. But really, it's not a war. It's between 2 people. But we'll pad episode 3 just in the Diving Bell people, And you can just see padding. And I think the issue, Disparu and Rachel, was episode 4, when it went in lots of different directions and just was an absolute mess.
Oh, they completely forgot about the pollution. That went all together. Let's forget about that. Let's change the story.
It is very strange that... So in like Stargate, you can understand over a 22-episode series why the middle one will just be a recap of the first 11, because you run out of money, you need time to stall for the rest, and out of 22 episodes, no one minds a filler one. In 5, you should be so rushed with the limit of time that you're like, I'm gonna have to cut this because I need to talk about this next thing I've got to do.
The pacing's all over the place.
Yeah, it's more like you've got film people that can barely keep an idea going for 90 minutes, trying to drag something out over 5 hours, than someone that can write 22 episodes, crushing them down to 5. And I do think that films and TV are different skill sets. And we seem to have film people writing television now, which is very strange.
I think Pete McTighe inherited a bit of a mess with the first episode, because the first episode is pacing isn't good anyway. Like, I think they should have introduced that what's her name, Salt, a lot earlier than what they did. It was too slow. Because then like everything else that Peter's written could have been moved up, if you know what I mean. And we can actually get the war started like mid episode 3, maybe 4.
The thing is, Rachel,
they're going to do it in 44 minutes.
I get the impression that Rachel, that actually that this is the padding that they've cynically manoeuvred, that actually to slow it down. We're not going to get to the war. They can't afford to show us the war. They're not going to bother with it.
Well, you think they spent all the money on just like throwing rubbish everywhere?
Well,
no, I think it would be. I think it would convince you that you're right. For instance, there's a reason why in Starship Troopers the humans are the good guys, because they have to be the good guys, because we're humans. You can't show a story where aliens are the good guys and we're the evil people. It doesn't work, because if you're gonna wipe humans off the planet, well, I'm a human, therefore I have to win, because I'm not going to die for a random species from the middle of the earth. I don't care whether they were here first. You always have to support your side first, because you're your side. And so they can't really show them doing anything. It's why they've completely ignored killing millions of people with dropping stuff, because if they did, you would hate them. They would be instantly the villains. And so it destroys this story.
Well, let's have a bit more fun.
They've undermined the Sea Devils a lot. I don't know if you've seen classic Sea Devils, Disparu, but they've undermined them an awful lot in this. They've changed them quite a lot. So they're not Sea Devils.
Well, you wouldn't want to have sex with the originals, so they've had to change.
They had to make them pretty, yeah.
Yes, I mean, I was scared of them. I was bricking it. I wasn't having a little kind of, hard on in the middle of the night.
Chibs muster some kind of like what looked like a classic Sea Devil. Come on, if Chibs can do it and he ruined the show, then surely they can do it in this.
Well, that was one of the things in the Cobra meeting I did like, where they're discussing basically just wiping them out and destroying them from the face of the earth, and he still calls them Homo aqua. Because, if you're about to wipe out a species, the last thing you want to use is a slur. You don't want to offend them when you're about to shoot them in the face.
The general, he's like, they're Homo aqua because that is what they look like. Do you think that's not actually a racist term as well, It would have been better if it came from the Sea Devils themselves, in actual fact.
Because the woman next to him goes, actually, they're this. And he just goes, to me, they look like this. He's like, wait, isn't your name worse than anything else then?
No, I thought, this is progressive writing for you. Ignore a woman advising you, the scientific advisor. You are just kind of giving your own kind of, naming of them. I mean, what makes you better? I can't believe it.
Remember, one of the species is now called Big Fish, just because they decided that's what they should be called.
That lovely big fish. That reminds me, good old Let's have a look. I'll find it in a minute. My brain's gone dead. Here we go. Let's have a look. I'll find it in a minute. But I was going to ask you, Rachel, unforgettable moments, good or bad?
Well, I think I've kind of already covered that, but there is one that was good that I actually really liked, and it was in part 1 where they're guarding the body of the sea devil, and the ground starts changing, and it pulls both of the army members, unit members, sorry, down underneath the water, and then the general's like looking for them, and they're gone. They're nowhere. And you hear the walkie-talkie, and it's coming through a ground, and they discover the hand. I really like that, and if you could do more of that, thank you very much. I really like it. But
I remember there was an old quote from one of the writers of the Modern Who, and he said that basically we're writing the script and we're like, no one's died in the last 7 minutes. We need a death, and so they would just randomly kill somebody because you had to keep killing people to make sure they understood this was a serious thing. And in modern Who, this seems to have entirely gone. Like, nobody dies. I actually think that's probably why they spent so long in just going down the ocean, because they wanted you to care about everyone in that bell, and just failed because none of them are likable people. But that's why you spent all the time.
Credit to Pete McTighe. He hasn't bumped off the majority of the cast already, hasn't he? He didn't waste any time with that. Yeah, you're gone. Now you.
But what sort of logic is it to say, right, I want the audience to commit to engaging with this crew, and then we're just going to kill them off again for just... I don't see what the payoff was there. It wasn't an Adric moment. It wasn't anything spectacular, was it? It was just...
Well, they tried to get you right in the fields of Abraham as well, but he was not really that big of a character. They should have done it perhaps in the last one, where he's had more to do.
This is something which foreign shows do really well compared to our modern shows. So Alice in Borderland has...
Oh, I've not watched that yet.
It's amazing.
I can't wait to watch it.
The last series, not as good. The first 2 series, incredible. Second one gets better. But that is like my gold standard of characterization, because they will do a death game, and the entire thing may last 25 minutes, and there's a whole crew of people just for this death game that get introduced at the start, and you genuinely care about them at the end while the game is going on, because the game actually highlights something about their personality which makes you attached to them. And there's nothing in this. They were talking about what food they like to eat, or that I don't want to die. It's like, well, nobody wants to die, but that doesn't tell me anything about you or give me anything. Saying you've got 19 kids, it's like, well, I think that's meant to make me attached to him, but lots of people have kids. You've got to give me something more about you.
I think it'd be more impactful if they bumped off Kate.
Yes.
Well,
I would have cheered personally, but I think she's the worst. I think she's the worst, like, most unironically evil person in the show, especially in the meeting that they did with all the government, where they are talking about their self-defense. She's like, "Well, we got peace." It's like, "Yeah, but what happens afterwards?" "Well, we got peace." What about afterwards, Kate? And the only way they could make her position justified is by the moment she leaves, turning them into mustache-twirling villains that want to piss off a technologically advanced species that can wipe you off the face of the planet instantaneously.
Yeah.
They even say they can kill us in 15 minutes. You definitely don't want to drop a bomb on them, then. That would be a really stupid idea, you know?
Well, look, we're hearing everything here. So what I'm going to do now is throw a few video bits at you, and I'm sure we'll get seconds in before we start going, ah! So here we go. Here we go.
Hello again.
I mean,
look, I admire Russell T Davies' commitment to gender roles. The moment they needed a military strongman to make the important tough decisions about an enemy, is like, we need a bloke for this. Like, that is surprisingly base for Russell Davies.
Ironically, Disparu, I actually think that the Sea Devils work better as male. So I would have been much happier with this than this.
What do you think the message was? Were we getting some gender fluids thing, or were we getting toxic masculinity?
I wondered if it played into the idea of the activist argument that because like sea creatures can change their sex, that we can do that too. I don't know. That's what I thought originally, but it might not even be that at all. It might be, well, haha, there you go. We're just swapping this person's gender, and that's it. You can whatever. We're
you said
doing
it
it because we can.
Well, you said earlier, Disparu, with so many things, because there's no script editor or any kind of oversight, there's no payoff with anything. Why do that? Why do this? Why do this? Why say this? There's just no payoff. In other words, as an audience member, I could actually just be doing something else and just stare at the screen now and again and not give a damn. And maybe that's what's happening with the ratings.
Well, that actually Netflix does that deliberately. They know that they're on a side screen while someone's doing something else, which is why they verbally say everyone's emotions and motivations and repeat them, because you may have missed it when it happened, so you can't be subtle, which is one of the reasons television's got worse. But I think with this, I expected it to be part of the story, because everyone knows Chekhov's gun. If you zoom in on a gun, you better use it in the story, otherwise everyone thinks, why did you draw attention to it? That's pointless. And that's how I feel with this. So I can only assume that it was another kind of messaging thing of, they are gender fluid, they change according to need, and so when he got angry, he turned into a man because that showed that he was about to use force, whereas when they're more diplomatic and social, they took on a more feminine form. And so I think it's meant to mean when the man turns up later, he was there to show we mean war. It was like their body language in a way, because there's a lot in this where they talk in human terms. Even the fish people talk in human terms because they can't think of any other term. So she keep neutral body language. So, well, what does that mean when you're talking to another species? Because body language is something that humans evolved, not into time. And you have fish people who keep talking about the tides. Well, they've never seen the tides. They're underwater. She talked about the undercurrents. So, well, you just call them currents because all your currents are underwater. And so they have trouble zooming out from the human perspective, even when they're talking about fish. So I can only assume it's human related, even this.
Yeah, and they've got confused with sea devils and something else that they've invented, because turtles need oxygen and need to come up to the top. They wouldn't live 5 miles down.
No,
the whales.
Yes. Oh, and this idea that poor sharks are soulless, and you've got the dolphins and the titans, and then get over yourself. You think you've invented a class system like Draconia, have you, hell? Honestly,
I don't think Malcolm Hulk would be very impressed with this. Malcolm
what
Hulk,
he
the
would be
creator of the Sea Devils, if you don't know, but yeah, he would be just like, oh, he wouldn't be happy.
I'm dying to see Benjamin Cook do an edited version of this, because he likes to edit a Sea Devil.
I didn't watch Ben Cook's edited version of the Sea Devils. I had no intention of doing that.
Well, he watched my show.
He watched
being
it.
Critical of it, yeah, because he criticizes. He said I was very ill-informed.
Of
there
course
you,
you are.
Hey!
No, you've not been watching it for long enough. You're a real fan.
Ill-informed means I've read the book, I've watched the original countless times. I'm a Doctor Who fan, and I watched that version, and I didn't like it as much. That's ill-informed. I'm an audience member. Get over it.
You didn't sit there and edit it.
Yeah.
You do get messages from accounts that were created 5 minutes ago, and it's like, why did you need to hide your identity? That's odd. Yes. But there are I think you've hit on a good point when you're like, the original creator wouldn't do it, because you find that better ideas are created by essentially smarter people, and I think Moffat is clearly more intelligent than Davis when you just hear them talk. Moffat understands traditionalism, and Davis can't appreciate it. And so this is a show which hits on an idea, and it'll mention it, but it'll never understand it or the implications of it. It'll never dive into its depths. It just briefly considers it and moves on. And it's like, I don't even know if that was deliberate, or whether you just think that everything is just surface level and you can't appreciate on a deeper thing. And this is even one of them. This is their ideology, and it never goes anywhere.
No, it doesn't. And you know what's funny about that? I think Pete McTighe is actually a better writer than RTD. That's just saying something.
Well,
I think it also highlights how much RTD has been fed over the years as well, ideas-wise. I think he's had a lot given to him on a plate. That's what I think.
It's just,
which episode was written by who?
RTD wrote the first one, and then the rest have been written by Pete.
And then RTD does episode 5.
Is he doing it? Oh no.
Well, so my favorite episode so far has been episode 1.
I agree.
If RTD is doing episode 5, that means we've got 25 minutes dedicated to the war and the rest of it to family time, right? And how much I love you.
And somebody leaving last minute, but watch the credits. They're the best bit. Yeah, right. Okay then.
Help.
Well, there you go. We've hit the gender fluid. Somebody said, well, they're underwater, but yes, anyway.
We'll take questions from the ambassador.
Didn't like that.
I can regulate my
Get in
body.
there.
I'm sort of regulating my body for you too.
No.
So I see.
And this
Your expression to that. It's like...
How did this get passed? How did they approve this?
No,
I mean, two of the executive producers are women, and I can't imagine being in the room when you give them the script and you check their face out. It's just so cringe-making.
I don't have a problem.
I questioned. Oh, sorry, Disparu.
I don't have a problem with the comedy elements. I think some of it is. It's just it needs to be balanced with the rest of the show, and so if you take something seriously and there's jokes in to kind of remove the tension, fine. But he's already banging a fish. Like this is already Comedy Central, and I'm not sure that making it weirder is like.
I just you have to go there. She mentioned at another point orifice to orifice, and I thought, oh man.
Disparu, when you finished your reviews, I can't wait to watch them. I really want to see you talking about this.
I did the one for this today.
Okay.
The other thing is, everyone knows that Russell Tovey is gay. So
Yes.
you've done like a gender fluid thing. I thought you would have like played with that in some kind of way. I thought maybe this is the reason why it's his ex-wife. No, we're just going to play this entirely straight all the way down. It's like, well, why Russell Tovey then? Especially when he's been in the show as someone that got with Captain Jack. Like, I was sure that this would be some kind of reference point, and it's like, no, we're just going to leave it here hanging in the air as that everybody knows but never talk about it. It's kind of like an elephant in the room kind of thing.
Yeah, it's almost like a clickbait that everybody knows he's gay, and he normally plays gay characters. Well, actually, yeah, he does a mixture. But at any moment, no, not so far.
Well, they haven't even discussed it. Like the first thing you would go as a human is, are you a man or a woman? Like that would actually be important to you. He never even asks, do you? Is this even possible? It's like I don't. There's not any of the important questions.
This seems to be the way now. Remember, was it episode 2 when the politicians with the Prime Minister talked to Kate and the other fella, and they said, is it women to woman now? They didn't know whether they could reference gender. And of course, Barclay's not referencing gender because he's really progressive. You shouldn't ask anymore. You can do dating sites now. You're not allowed to check, are you? You're supposed to just make, So I think it's gone down that road now, where basically don't mention the gender, just go with it.
But that kind of goes off though when he's like, "Is this okay?" And she's like, "Yes." But then he also like she's grabbing his face like a blind person for some reason, and then he goes, "Can I touch you?" I'm sorry. That kind of kills the mood, doesn't it? It's like, and when he reached up with his glove, I died. It's like,
well, it's.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I know.
I mean, this is going to make for a lot of jokes, but I really want to know how they got this passed, how they managed to get this okayed. Because, bestiality, that's a crime, man.
Well, I mean, now you have Twilight. That was between a dog and a corpse.
That's
so
true.
There's lots of entertainment like that now.
Anything goes then, anything.
Oh, well, let's enjoy this one more time, because I have to say, I would never dream it. I can't imagine writing dialogue like this, but anyway.
It's in my body for you too.
So
Has anybody on the planet ever said, I'm regulating myself for you, love? I mean,
Well, she's not even a native English speaker. And he's talking as if she gets the euphemisms, which is...
yes. Well, she can do Russian. Remember, she was like the Katie Boyle of her time. Remember, she said, I know the language, and they had a translator and all that stuff. Mind you, what was going on with that first diplomat when he brought her a shrub? Honestly, we have some pathetic gifts. He's like that crappy bloody relative you have, and they give you something, and it's in the bin on Monday or in the charity shop. I give you a shrub.
they said that was sarcasm because even the fish in the tank sniffed. And I'm like, at this point, there is a lot of this show where you say the joke that I made previously, and I'm playing, oh, you've ruined mine now. It's like you put it in the show.
You blundered in by mistake.
I'm the one who orders the cars and finds cheaper lorries. But I met the doctor once. Last year in the tower, he said hello, and then he's vivid.
I mean, is he that lonely? I mean, I've met lots of people in a year. I mean, you met somebody in the lift for a minute and he was vivid. It wouldn't be memorable to me.
Doctor. I wouldn't remember what he looks like. He changes his clothes all the time.
I can only imagine it's a shooty doctor being vivid.
Well, that's the thing, in this universe, wouldn't your first question be, which one? Like, they all have different personalities. That actually matters. And because they've got a time travel machine, it could have been any of the ones that exist, even future ones that she may not know about. That'd be an interesting talking point. She's like, nah, what was he like? Well, how was it a she? It's like, you don't know. He could have been a dog for all we know at this point.
What, assuming gender? Oh,
Well, the thing is, Disparu's just made the point about he's a gay actor, but he's not mentioned the gender thing and all the rest of it. But actually, if you think about it in this one, the doctor, who has mostly been male, and he goes, I think about him every night. And I'm thinking, you met him for a minute? You met him for a minute? I mean, are you sure you're not gay? Because, you've met this one bloke in the lift. You've got an ex-wife. You've got a daughter. Well, non-binary. Oh, hey. So, I mean, he says it here, doesn't he?
He's vivid. You know? I think about it every second of every day.
Why? Honestly, why would you think of one person you met at the bloody bus stop? Somebody you met at the water cooler? Somebody... Really? You think about them every night? Did they smell? What the hell was going on?
Wow. And the way we think about people is we attach them to their deeds normally. So you like celebrities because of a movie or because you heard something about them, not just because they're famous. And so you would appreciate the doctor for something he did or something he told you or because you spoke to him. Or you'd just be like, look, I've always liked this guy and I finally met him. But you wouldn't think about the moment you met them all the time. Yeah, it's not how humans work, and it almost seems deliberately counter to what Davis did before in Star Beast, where he meets the woman in the wheelchair, and she's like, you've been waiting your whole life to meet me? Ah, you wish. And she just storms off. It's like, well, now we've done both extremes of people. It's like, there probably is somewhere in the middle where everyone would actually land.
Good point, actually. Michael Nemo, the period between Whittaker and now somehow seems darker and more depressing as a fan than the period from Survival and Rose. I think it's because of the world we're in as well, actually. The online stuff means you can't actually let it go. We'd already let it go in 89 in a way. And I think what's happening now is we keep talking about it. You'll see clips. There's loads of discussions. I think it's just a different world, Michael Nemo. I don't think you can do the Wilderness Years Part 1 again. And we will go over detail. Remember, we're still in a period in 89 when it was mostly video. You wouldn't be on constant repeat. There wouldn't be clips everywhere. So I think basically that's it. We're perusing it now. And of course, you can't let it go. This would have died, wouldn't it, Disparu and Rachael? This spin-off would have just died and people would never see it repeated. That's the end of it. But now, on streaming platforms and everywhere, you can go over and over and over, laugh at it, take the mick, whatever.
Is it true it's not on Disney Plus?
Not at the moment.
January.
Oh, man.
They want to give them the pleasure of watching it in one go.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the BBC have announced when it's on Disney Plus, and Disney Plus haven't. I mean, gosh, they're so want to disown
They
it.
really don't want to know, do they? They don't like it.
But in regards to the comment into the super chat, my attitude has always been it is far better to take the piss out of this stuff and laugh at it so that you can get entertainment out of it. Because being depressed, I was there when Wheel of Time came out. It's the first thing I started reviewing on my channel. And it was horrific. It destroyed everything. And you watch my first thing, I'm like, what on earth is this? And I felt like I was going insane because all the reviews I was watching were saying this was amazing. And then you had people in my channel going, I thought I was going insane because every other review loved it. And I finally come here. It's like, oh, you actually want the books? And I think it is good to like mentally separate different eras of things because the people change, and so Davis coming back was not the same Davis as he was before, or he didn't have the same people around him, and so I think it is good to almost mentally cut out your stuff and then just see it as almost a satire, rather than being depressed about what it's turned into. Appreciate the old stuff that you like, but don't let the new stuff get you down, because the people making it aren't worth it.
Yeah, and
I pretty much only watch it now just to make reviews.
Well, yeah, I'm one of those. It's like I'm one of those. You know, if I've got a collection, I keep going. That's the problem. So since I've been a Doctor Who fan, I keep going. If I'm a Middlesbrough fan, if Middlesbrough's having a bad season, I'm still there. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I'm not like that. I don't even have a Blu-ray player, so there you go. I can't keep collecting on the Doctor Who stuff. Got my TARDIS out finally. That's about it.
Well, Michael Nemo continues. Is he playing the same character as the one that chats with Captain Jack in the bar? Oh, God. You mean when David Tennant refused to die?
Alonso.
Yeah. He was like Cher, wasn't he, doing a final tour again? But yes, he was in the bar, wasn't he? And he paired him up with him and all the rest of it. But no, he seems to be, as Disparu said, he's playing a more troubled character this time and a more complex character. But I actually disagree with Disparu on that scene you were talking about. You know, the scene with the ex-wife, because I just thought it was so inconsistent. With 1 minute he says, "I'm an accident. I've wet my pants again." That bit. Then he says in the back of that van to Kate, "You need me. You need me." And he suddenly changes again, and I couldn't get the consistency of this bloke. 1 minute he's wetting himself saying, "I'm level 10." Then he's suddenly saying, "You need me." Then he's saying, "I'm going to be making history," to his ex-wife. And he's down with the kids and those hippie kids. "I'm going to listen to you," to his daughter. And he was just jumping around. And I just thought, I can't get the core of you. I just can't see where your steerage is.
It's a good point about the consistency of the character. I think the reason I liked it is just because we so very rarely in media now get actually a masculine character, and that was one of the first masculine moments we've seen in like the last two series of Doctor Who, and this was a guy that was like, "No, I have to be strong because my family's here, the Earth's gonna die. I'm the one person they pulled out of the entire world to talk to these people. I can't break down." And everyone's piling stuff on me. The ex-wife's nagging at me. The daughter she was nice for the previous episode, but all of a sudden it's turned into an arse who won't even say goodbye to me. Everything's getting to me, but I have to be strong and I have to go down anyway. And he's just surrounded by incompetent people that are getting dragged along for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And he's the only one who's got to keep everything together. And so I think I more liked the stereotype of what a man should be, rather than does this make any sense for the rest of the four characters and this guy specifically, just because I think I probably have low standards for this kind of stuff at this point. I don't expect them to keep them together. So when I'm like, "Oh, I like this scene," it's like,
I do get it. What I was trying to work out with the ex-wife was, why is she hanging around like a bad smell? And 1 minute she was saying, how have you got all this money? Remember, she was a bit snarky with him. "How come you've got all this money? Blah, blah, blah." The next minute she's going, "You're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die." And again, there was inconsistency I felt with her, because 1 minute she just sounded quite cynical, classic ex-wife. And the next minute she's worried sick about him. And the next minute you're thinking, you just want the maintenance. You want that to continue. I was really... why are we doing a plot about an ex-wife? Why can't he just be married? Why did the story have to be an ex-wife? Is something going to happen in episode 5?
Oh, we've got a love story, haven't we? We've got a bit of bestiality. He's got to sleep with the fish.
And the ex-wife is there to be jealous. Absolutely. Like, she's already got jealous. When he said, well, she's pretty, instantly everyone jumped on it. And that's the only reason so far she's been there. Like, I even like that they've actually done, like, he's a good dad. Like, he's trying to do best by his family, which, again, is a very rare thing. And certainly not something I would expect the BBC to do in this kind of day and age. But it is so bizarre that she's included, and UNIT keep dragging her along everywhere. Like, she appears on a ship going into the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, no, I mean, units are not good at HR, they're not good at security, and they really are not good at diplomatic relations because suddenly the one relative you don't want there is there. I mean, honestly,
They're not classic unit. They're not Moffat unit. They are just Disney unit at this point. Useless.
Well, they actually showed that at the end of episode 3. You want to talk about HR? Kate Lethbridge Stewart and her guy. And he's like, if you don't come home with me right now, I'm reporting you. I'm like, wait, you cannot get away with that. It's like, you better come back to my bed or I'm reporting you to HR. It's like, no, I think it's actually now she has the power to do that too.
Yeah, I think there was some role play going on. He mentioned the role play later. It seemed to me there was nonsense, I'm going to report you to what? I'm the boss. I know, it was crazy.
You respected our fallen kin.
I'm not even religious. I don't know.
You see, I loved that bit, cynically, because when he did the Sound of the Cross, we mentioned it earlier, but I thought it called out all the virtue signalers because everybody puts on all their X profiles and puts all all the flags and puts all their tokens up and I'm a supporter of this and be kind. And actually, that he was called out because he did the Sign of a Cross and he said it meant nothing. I don't know why I was doing it. In other words, it was a virtue. Classic. Loved it. Virtue signaled. Brilliant. Thank you for doing that, RTD. Did you realise he did it?
You also have to ask, why did you write that line? You could have had him be religious. But for some reason, you felt that he needed to say, no, it meant nothing to me. Why? Do one or the other, but to point out, no, obviously we're not religious nowadays, is a very strange thing to raise.
Well, I really didn't like Christianity. Remember Kate Lethbridge Stewart when she suddenly said, is she a Christian now? It's like, whoa, gosh. I mean, I didn't know if we were talking about some...
Be a Christian in this day and age, Brendan. What are you talking about?
I know.
I think they should have made him a Christian. Actually made him a Christian proper. Wouldn't have been anything wrong with that.
But
But that would have been offensive, wouldn't it?
This is the point. Offense means you can only have one thing.
Yeah.
Whereas before, shows like Star Trek would have had a range of people with a range of opinions and they'd all discuss it in the show. Whereas in this, there's exactly one kind of person that's allowed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Binary viewpoints.
Why would the fish people not be kind of, oh, what gods do you have up here? What religion do you worship? Why do you think this? Wouldn't they be interested? They'd either be interested in the culture or want to wipe you out.
Why did... this inconsistent thing. 1 minute Salt is kind of... She's like the Queen of Naboo, talking in that weird way, I want the ambassador and all that stuff. And then the next minute, being really arsey about the glass of water, being arsey about getting rid of that ambassador. And then suddenly she says to Barclay, you're an amazing species and you've been to the stars and you've done this. And I'm thinking... You were really brass-faced with us in episode 1, and now you've jumped to being full of it. Again, I just don't get the motivation. I really don't know what's going on. And at the end of episode 4, when he said, I'll find you, and all the rest of it, and I figured, but why do you want to? You don't even know who she is.
It would have made more sense if they'd actually been changing between man and woman more often, and she had different personalities depending on what she was, because they already said, testosterone and things could change behavior, but they didn't want to go down that far. And so it doesn't really make sense. My favorite bit of episode 2 was actually where she said, we chose you for your humanity. It's like, yeah, but you hate humanity. You think humanity is evil, but you're using that as the way in the term we would use it to mean good. Not a great grasp of the English language, McTie, there.
No.
I've got so much energy right now.
What?
I'm a historical figure.
Like you're gonna shoot me in front of the...
How did she get out of that?
Yeah.
She's a prisoner in a safe. And she just opens it.
Yeah, it just falls open. It was just there for the taking. How would he know that was going to happen? I mean, if this is somebody he cares for suddenly, we still don't know why. Why did he know that reversing it would, and the momentum would carry it off? How did he know that? I thought he only booked taxis. I didn't know he was an HGV goods I thought he only booked them. Suddenly he's an expert on everything and momentum and physics. So there were an awful lot of assumptions made by him that if I get in that, they won't shoot me. I mean, they would shoot you. She's a prisoner of war. You're trying to get away. You're looking like shonky goods. You're looking disloyal. I can't imagine writing that script and going, that would look authentic. That would look that would pass muster. That would work. There were just too many things all going on. He'd have been shot dead or wounded. The lorry wouldn't have moved, and the door wouldn't have opened, and she wouldn't have been. And we're littering the Thames again as well.
I think it's because the way people used to write stories is they would come up with characters, give them personalities and motivations, and then they would create the story themselves. They put them in a situation and see where the characters naturally lead. Whereas in this, they have a message and a thing that they want to say. They have specific moments they want to create. And so they have to happen, whether it makes sense in character, whether it's possible, whether it makes sense to the story or the argument holds up. And it doesn't seem like there's anyone in the room who goes, that doesn't make sense, you need to change that. And they just carries on, like steamrolls over.
I think Pete McTighe is a puppet, really, more than anything else, because no one can outrule what RTD says and goes. So essentially, he's just written what RTD wanted him to write, and that's it.
Well,
he doesn't need much convincing, actually, now I think about it.
Well, I did ask a couple of weeks ago whether Pete McTighe would make a good showrunner, and I'm not seeing much merit.
I think they're trying to gear him up to be the next showrunner. He's on there as executive producer.
Oh, how many executive producers do you need to change a light bulb? I mean, honestly, how many executive producers have we got? It's ridiculous.
That's a common Disney thing, naturally. They have like 9 or 10 in an 8-episode series.
Oh, unbelievable. Money for old rope, and yet who's writing the blooming thing? Paul Richards, how did a taxi driver get mistaken for a unit expert in the first place? The writing is bloody terrible. And you say that, lots of people are saying that. I'm just using you as a representative. Okay.
You will both walk towards us.
I'll find you! I'll find
Not in that dirty water, will you? I mean, it's
filthy water that turns clear when she's in it.
Yeah.
Look how much rubbish is on the side. Like, surely there would be more than that.
I thought it was Birmingham, but
it is a bit inconsiderate to the people of Birmingham, this storyline.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes a drama, because of some horrible world event, they go, oh, we can't show that, we'll have to postpone it.
Like, only Birmingham.
Sorry, Birmingham, we're going to show bin strike after a year, we're going to show it. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, they've joked about how that dirty water in the Thames, right? If she was going to make such a big point, and I know I'll save your Disparu one for you to do it because you made a good point. But the dirty water, of all the places in the world that Homer Aqua wanted to encounter the humans for a diplomatic mission, they wanted to come up the Thames. And then they wanted to make a point about how dirty the water is. They could have met us at a Pacific island. They could have met us anywhere. It looked quite nice in Mallorca, actually, when they first had the Close Encounters of the Fishy Kind. Because basically, that was Close Encounters, the same scene again, but instead of with lights, it was done with audio, wasn't it?
This is clearly a series written by people that go to London because they are so self-important about themselves in England. This is a series where we have an American general desperately trying to get permission from an English prime minister to do something. And he's like, no, they would tell you what you're going to do. We're America. We don't care what you think. If you get pissed off, okay, invade us then. They would not care at all. And all I was thinking of this is if I was setting an ambush for a fish on a bridge, I would definitely put something in the water to trap you. Because I was just amazed the moment they went, this is a trap, they didn't just jump off the edge. That's what I would have done. And I think what you were referencing was, if we're going to complain about the amount of rubbish in the water, in episode 4, she said her gills purify the water. So what's she moaning about?
Yeah. She can do it for you. You just need a snog. That's all you need. Quick snog with a fish and you're away with it.
Why don't they give us the technology of whatever gets all the crap out of the water? Or why don't they go, can you just build some landfills and then we will dump the crap from the river in your landfills for you? And it'll all be done in like a month. You just got to dig a hole. There's so many ways that you could get around the technology if you just went, can you do this for us?
Yeah. Jess Corbin, the smell of London sewage can still be smelt today, with sewage still entering the Thames when the system reaches capacity, made worse when that lot arrived, everyone crapping themselves. So, people getting angry. Right, here we go. The Brigadier's daughter, Kate Stewart, after being given a cuppa and some biscuits by her man.
This morning I showered in the sink.
What? I love that. I showered in the sink. It's like, oh, put your
Well, I don't even notice, but they have a gender swapped relationship. So in any kind of stereotype relationship, it's the guy on the PlayStation and the woman coming along. Can't you just pay attention to me? I just want I want to talk to you, and you're playing on that thing all the time. Whereas in this is like, can you just get off that laptop, please? I really want to talk to you about things. And I'm like, no, actually, she has a great point. The world is ending. There's a phone call about people at the bottom of the ocean which are going to stop the apocalypse. And he's like, can you just let it go to voicemail, please? And he's completely unreasonable during this entire scene.
He was using the wrong
Kate
language.
wears the trousers. That's it. Kate wears the trousers. She's not much interesting.
He should
if
have
that's
said,
the quality of him, she should. Like, that guy has no idea of what's important in life.
well, what was the language he should have said? I'm registering my concern now. What was that phrase that we played earlier when he noticed the, you know what? I'm regulating, that's it. He should have said, Kate, I'm regulating my body language for you. And she's, oh, I get what you mean. Right, I've got it now, yes.
The logistics of this scene is terrible.
Yeah. Especially, you see him holding her, and she's up to here on him.
and of course the classic
timing of it is really bad as well. Yeah. Really bad.
I showered in the sink.
I'm still confused about how we saw that she had a red sight on her face from behind her. That's still what's confusing me.
Yes, I know that's it. And it was on her for a while. It was too late. Once that red sight's on her forehead, she's gone, isn't she? I mean, come on, they don't wait around.
The shot went off before he even got to her.
Well, it was the same on that. It was the same on the bridge with Salt because they took ages. Unit against the British Army, and you know, they could have taken them out. They could have taken their leg out. It was a standoff of nonsensical reasons. Here you've got the red spot. Well, I'm sorry. Once the red spot's there, you're shot. She's still on the blooming phone. As Disparu said, he's behind. How would he see that? And then, of course, the logistics of, or the physics. I remember when JFK was shot and they had all them numerous documentaries on but the grassy knoll and the book, you know, and all the rest of it. Who did it, who shot, what the angles were.
Whoever staged that, they just got the logistics completely wrong.
Who wrote it?
It was just completely wrong. Well, it's how they would have storyboarded it and put it together and rehearsed it. It wouldn't necessarily have been the writing itself. But oh well.
Well, here we go.
What can you do?
It was so easy though. They could have had him like hugging her from behind, and then he just pushes her out the way. There are so many easy ways that if you'd thought about it. But what you can't do is what happens next, which I don't know whether if you're going to show it, then feel free to interrupt me. But where she's crying over the corpse, which is still where it got shot. I'm like, why doesn't he just shoot her now? Like, normally in any assassin scene, they dive behind cover, they crawl out the door. You can't grieve over the guy because you have stuff to do. You're alive and you matter, so you have to save yourself before you can save the other person.
I'd love to see their storyboard, Disparu. I would love to see it.
Don't you think Austin Powers did it better with the fembots?
Yeah.
Where basically he kept putting stuff in the way. I think that would have been better.
There's a lot of satirical films which now make more sense than modern shows.
So anyway, what you referenced, I mean, I think she was worried about the blood on the rug. I'm not quite sure.
Oh yeah, the intelligent scientist doesn't know what a gunshot is. She's like, Kate, are you there? I need to talk to you, Kate.
I tell you what, she's over promoted.
Yes. She's exactly what I would expect of a BBC institution if they had to rule the world.
Shirley Bingham, we know, doesn't do Mondays and Fridays in the office. We know she's that type. We know.
Shirley Bingham will take over from Kate at the end of if Kate dies.
Next in line, that makes you full of confidence. And they've removed her from their office, which had a ramp for her to slide down in the middle to make a dramatic entrance.
Yeah, look at that bullet hole. She was stood in front of that. That makes no sense at all. It went through her. She must have... Yeah. And, of course, the rug's wrecked. He's not going fast, though, is he? He's going, are you sure I'm written out now? Are you sure? I've been in every blooming unit episode.
I think they got so overwhelmed with what they thought the emotional resonance of the scene was, they forgot the mechanics of it. But nobody, it's like lightsaber fights and stuff. You will forgive stupid moves and fights if you're invested in the scene, but if you're not, you're like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, they've been so proud of this series and they've rated it and everything, and yet when they've watched this, aren't they going, "Oh, hold on a minute, hold on."
I really didn't like the setup of this scene, and I assume it was deliberate or subconscious, that when we put the Sea Devils into our diplomatic mission, we actually put them on a stage, so they were above all of humanity. Then we go to their place, and they're like massively high in the most impressive situations to really intimidate people. And he goes, "This is like when you met us." No, it isn't. Like, we met on a level playing field or put you above us.
Yeah, crazy. Very strange scene. They love their parallel narratives, but actually, it's a bit like having two Rani. You don't need the parallel narrative. There was enough power and emotion in doing one of them. This splitting thing, and both of them don't pay off. Here we go. We've all had that feeling when you've kicked the football over your neighbour's garden and you think, shit, Dad's going to bollock us now. We're not going to be allowed, because when you've gone around that neighbour's house 5 times in the same day, you know you've got to leave it. And so that awful moment when you've kicked it, and there we go.
None of them go, why? Like, what did you hope to achieve with this? So you've got a load of diplomats who, if they all die, which they wouldn't do because the water came in, but they can all survive that kind of pressure rise anyway. So most of them weren't killed in this, despite the fact it's saying they were. But they're just diplomats. If they die, next people step up line just like in unit. And so you've achieved nothing, and you've just pissed off a technologically advanced species that can wipe you out in 15 minutes. Why did you blow them up? It's stupid.
And of course, the other question, of course, is the fantastic security at unit, that he was carrying a bomb, and
you know, I've written that already for my review for when I record it tomorrow.
Yeah, what's in that box? Yeah, what's in that box?
Are they that stupid?
We've all been well. They can be stupid, Rachel, but I've been through airport security. I can't have more than 100 ml of liquid.
You can't get that.
How the hell does that happen?
I didn't even dare you to try.
Personally, if I was going to make a top secret bomb that I was going to smuggle through the most advanced institutions on Earth, I wouldn't put LEDs in it. That's the one thing that I would leave out. The glowing bomb.
And you wouldn't disguise it as a world.
Oh, I know.
More discreet, more discreet.
I mean, if you remember, there was even a time where they actually got scanned when they entered in and it didn't detect anything. It was very strange. It even said, "Well, did we get decontaminated, or did you get scanned? What was it?" We never know.
Yeah. But of course, the unit were useless. The TARDIS materialized. Sutek was on the top. There was no security there. Conrad broke in Lucky Day. It's actually one of the worst places. So basically, unit crud.
40,000 litres. Well done, Mrs. Bingham.
This is what got me.
I love this. And she even goes, "Thank you. Yeah, congratulations. You opened a door."
Yeah. I pressed the button. Yeah, it was actually the plumbers and everybody else, but yeah, I was. Yeah, people taking the credit. We all know that type. And of course, she's just told her boyfriend, her secret boyfriend, to basically shut up and all the rest of it. And she's doing that kind of "I'm Kate Stewart on the bridge." And then, of course, thanks, Shirley. You see, you're wondering about Russell Tovey. I'm wondering about these two, because I tell you what, there's a bit of a kind of, are you all right, Shirley? Are you all right, Kate? Kate. There's a lot of that going on, I have to say. Do you think in the credits we might find that they've adopted a baby or something?
She's very easily impressed. I mean, remember that Salt sniffed a flower, and then she went, "She's amazing." That was the only thing she'd done.
Yes.
Ma'am, we don't know what that third life...
To trust them, Colonel. Open the doors.
We're putting an enormous amount of pressure on them.
Talking about your boyfriend like that.
Oh no, we're putting an awful amount of pressure on one man. You mean like when you said you were going to kill him? Like, I forgot my gun. No, I haven't. I can't believe we're putting so much pressure on this young man. Like, maybe threatening him with his life.
They really need to get rid of Kate at this point. She's become so 2D. She's become so boring. And that's not Gemma Redgrave. There's nothing to do with Gemma Redgrave. It's the writing that's doing that.
I find that I actually find that I'm after seeing her for so long in Doctor Who, in tiny pockets, I really am not wanting this, ready for this. I've not demanded it. It's just like I don't know why I'm watching this.
No, the
You
only
could
reason
have
why we
developed her a decade ago and you didn't. I just don't want it now.
The
I'm
only
over it.
reason why we got her was because, we had the Brig in the classic series, and they wanted to follow on because obviously Nicholas Courtney too old to bring him back at that point, and then eventually, obviously, he passed away. Like, but she's nowhere near as interesting as
Well,
Brig.
we're doing a spin-off on her. It's like getting Sergeant Benton for a 5-part, big
I'd rather
unit
watch
special with
Sergeant
Disney.
Benton.
Hi,
She also
darling.
makes the wrong decision at every opportunity. So season 4 ends with her standing up to an American military general as if this is a big brave moment. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't work when the only time you're willing to use force on anybody is when you're going to slaughter innocent human beings. All this time, you've been against doing anything to the people which have been killing humans, and then the moment anyone does anything to a fish, you're like, oh, we must protect the fish at the cost of life of all these humans. So...
Oh, go on.
Well, it's just like I can't respect her opinion. Yeah, yes, she does have a spine, but at all the wrong moments.
Yeah, it is the wrong moments. I agree with that.
Yeah, but she's up for bollocking the French woman. I'm up for a bollocking. Whoa, she goes for it then.
And if you're trying to emulate the Brigadier, really, you should not be turning on your own kind. The Brigadier never really ever did that, did he? At least I don't recall him ever doing that. And it was more about how you're going to defend the world from the aliens. Yes, okay, he was thinking bombs and explosions and things like that. But at least he was trying to do what he was paid to do. Kate doesn't really even do that in this one.
Well, she's done the opposite.
Protect the fish, but turn on the army.
Well, that's what I mean. She's doing the opposite of her dad. Her dad would have tried to bomb the Silurians. He would have tried to bomb the Sea Devils.
Yeah, and he told off for as long as possible because the doctor said, no, don't do it. But then if the doctor wasn't quick enough, he would do it.
And you could make her position justifiable by just saying, well, they'll beat us in any war. If you kick that beehive, we're not ready. We're trying to be ready. We're trying to defend ourselves. We need to defend ourselves and learn how to. But at the moment, they will wipe us off the face of the planet. And so she's trying to defend the humans by stopping the humans doing something stupid would be justifiable. But she has taken the position that they are perfectly justified. Everything we're doing to an evil. Humanity's evil. And she will wipe them out to protect the outgroup. Which is... It's not a position that a load of human viewers will ever be able to stand behind. Because you're saying that I should be essentially sacrificed for these fish people. And it's like, no, if I have to choose a side, I will always choose the side that I need to be on to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing I just liked as an aside is you've got all that litter all over the planet. And, the tidy up's taken forever. And then once those people die in the diving bell, they make even more litter by making a little kind of, plaque outside with all the kind of Post-its outside. And let's have more litter. Let's go for it.
Brendan, I've got a question for you. I've just thought of it. Okay, so we've got this underwater bit where it's been all made safe for the humans, right? So you've watched Doctor Who since you were a child. And you know the Sea Devils quite well, don't you? Would you consider them like a species that would do that for the humans, given the fact that they don't like the humans because of what the humans have done?
In 1972, this is why these super fans who are writing this spin-off are forgetting some convenient little tricks. In 1972, they had a device that would connect to the diving bell with John Pertwee in. It was this yellow tube. And it had a kind of bung in it. And they got the master and the doctor and they took them down to the Sea Devil base. And they didn't have any fuss, nothing. They didn't show off and go, we did that for you, humankind. We've made this, we prepared this environment. None of that. We just got on with the plot. So they did it in 72, Rachel.
But
they did.
Also in this,
not like this.
It seems like a sea devil can make some kind of bubble of force around themselves to lower the aqua pressure. Because, okay, so you breathed into his mouth to give him oxygen, she went up through 5 miles. Fair enough. What about the water pressure, though? That would have immediately crushed him and turned him into soup from your own description. So you must have some kind of technology which makes a lower water pressure around you, which is how you can go up and down. You could just brought him down at any time.
Yeah. And he must have the bends, the speed he went. I mean, I was panicking. I've only scuba dived a few times, and my God, the speed they were going up.
5 miles of just water. Oh.
It's why I can only
You
assume she
should have
kept the
had Ben.
pressure.
She
Well,
was
if they're
sucking
trying to make it like all that meta-textual, then he should have had the bends. He should have.
Totally.
Straight up. That was too fast. That was too fast.
Trust them, Colonel. Open the doors.
We're putting an enormous amount of pressure on one man. The oceans cover 7.
Oh, as you said earlier, the gender swap. I hated that. That's awful, awful. So rude.
She was totally justified to turn around and basically go, look, don't we think we've got more important things than your Facebook status of whether you're in a relationship or not? The world is ending. And he's like, I can't you turn off? No, not when the apocalypse is happening. No.
Look, there were lots of red flags there. Let's be honest. I mean, if you were Ibrahim, you'd have thought, I'm a secret. I'm a dirty secret. If I put my hand on your knee, you push it back at work. You cut me dead to try and prove that we're not having a fling. I try and do little things for you. I get you some biscuits. I do this. I get you a cup of tea. I stay late when everybody else has gone home. I do all that. When we're at home, you're talking about work. When I tell you I care for you when you're fatigued and I send you home, at home, you're working. The red flags are all over the shop. And she won't promote him.
The thing is, he chose her. So it's not like if UNIT are this top secret organization and she got with a random guy in the pub, you could understand why he's like, why are you working all the time? You know, it's an admin job. Why do you care? But this guy went into the relationship knowing that that was a 24/7 job saving the world from other species. She cannot turn off. And so you would either accept it or not get into it in the first place. This is one of the issues you've raised. If you want to raise a domestic situation, you can't make an unreasonable one. People just like, you're the idiot here.
You know those people who are in those destructive relationships? Well, Ibrahim he couldn't leave her, could he? Couldn't leave her.
And we've seen one exactly like this.
We call them sea devils, but we're better than that now. Homo
Aqua, you're racist.
Yeah, you swine.
General is racist.
But also, he's staring at a corpse which is hanging from a wooden bar. And he's like, we're better than calling them slurs. It's hanging from a bar in front of you. Normally, don't you think that we should return this to his people? Because this is a problem with UNIT. They keep talking about how industry is pumping stuff out into the oceans. Well, industry is just doing what they need to or need to make a profit. They don't actually know that the Sea Devils exist. UNIT does. UNIT have been allowing this for decades, and they haven't done anything about it. They could tell everybody, but they like their secrets. They like the power that comes with their secrets. They like the power that comes with their technology. And we saw that Kate Stewart, the moment someone disagrees with her, she will unleash a monster on you to kill you to get a power trip from her ability to keep all of this secret and get away with it. And so now they're going, I can't believe industry has done this to people when they had no idea what was happening.
Stephen O'Neill over there in Wigan, whoever hired the assassin wants their money back. Both characters should have been written off. Terrible act. There's been a lot of dodge. Well, there were some good assassinations. I mean, some people were shot dead straight away, weren't they? They were eliminated straight away. Other people seem to be having second thoughts. I mean, just before we started tonight, me, Disparu, and Rachel were talking about this, how long those assassinations were taking. I mean, once Ibrahim was already shot, of course, the red sight was on her again, and again, nothing was happening. It was shocking how. I mean, honestly, Rachel, in the script, I know it might just say the red sight's on her, and then whatever happens, Shirley shouts something, but the direction of that, and some people have been praising the director, but how none of this executes well.
No, it hasn't been well executed. You're talking about the shooting scene?
But and the follow-up bit, because she was going to get shot when Ibrahim's... I mean, it's worked once, and,
Well, I mean, we obviously don't know what's in the script, but the director's job is to bring it to life. So he's got to work from the storyboards. But it was terrible. It was terribly directed. Like, I mean, I don't even know how to answer that. I if I'd watched that on the rushes, and I had seen that, I would have said you need to reshoot this because there's nothing correct about the logistics of it. Did they even get someone who was specializing in firearms to tell them the logistics of it? I don't know at this stage. I mean, they don't even have a script editor, so I mean, they're just doing what they want. They're running rampant.
Yeah, I think they're just having a jolly wheeze on the credit card, really.
I can understand getting so involved in the emotions of a scene that you forget the mechanics of it, but that's why you should have like a mechanical person there.
Oh, yeah,
and
exactly.
I think if anything, it would have been more emotional if she immediately went behind the window, behind the wall, and she's looking at his corpse, and she's like, I can't even go and hug him, I can't even say goodbye, because I'm in front of the assassin, and she's essentially just like, I've always liked the silent scream when someone's really distraught about something, but if you're doing that on the other side of the wall, and you can't even say goodbye, and you just need to leave, and you have to leave him there, with like, as he dies... That would have been way more impactful than having a phone call over his corpse, going, "Oh, he's been shot, and there's an assassin, and he's over there." I'm like,
yeah, and I'm under pressure, but I'm staring at a tower block opposite, and it's floor 35. What? How the hell did she do that?
Unfortunately, for the most circumstance, they do have to follow what's going on with the storyboard. So if it says that, that's what they got to do. But you know.
Mind you,
you're right, Disparu.
They may have an intimacy coordinator. They don't have a military person because let's face it, the security yet again in this script. Why is she living in a tower block, glass fronted, for any assassin at many levels to shoot her? And why is she so stupid to stand near a window when she's running unit in a time of war? I mean, please, honestly, security.
Drama.
This is something that Marvel did well. Is like, so you've got the guy, you've got someone driving along in a car, and assassins are coming for him. He's got bulletproof glass. Of course, he's got bulletproof glass. He's an important person, and it actually says a lot about someone in a CEO position of a top secret organization. I already planned for this. You think you can shoot me that easy? I already planned for this. I'm way ahead of you. So that's more impressive when you find out someone's planned for something they haven't just seen.
Yes.
Homo Aqua.
What is that? Do you think that's like a... Oh.
No, it's all right.
No, it's just about to explain it.
Finding Nemo's granddad, that's all it is.
It's a big fish.
I see more for Grandis. Does that mean big fish?
Yep. Who's the clever one there? She's the scientific advisor. The other woman is leading. At least she's doing Latin. Meanwhile, she's going, does that mean big fish? The levels. She would have been good in the Jodie Whittaker era, I think. Fam, we're all fam here. It's that level of it, isn't it? I think.
Also, if you were going to do that, though, I would leave that as an in-joke to the audience. That if you were good enough to learn the Latin yourself and you could translate it, you would get the joke. But most people would just accept it as like some foreign name they've never understood. Greenland and Iceland. Why do we call it Greenland? Well, it was green when we arrived. We do name stupid things, but when you point it out, it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, she might know a Latin, or she might just know astrology.
I think it would have worked better without pointing it out, because sometimes I think that this day and age with Doctor Who, it's too literal. They have to tell us everything instead of showing us, and it's like, no, you could have just left that out, and the people who got it would have got it, and the people that didn't, it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, what did you reckon?
I think it was Jimmy Carr that said, explaining a joke is like dissecting a frog. Nobody cares and the frog dies.
Yeah, don't be literal, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of Albion Party then?
Allow a foreign species to dictate this is...
I have a problem. Every time I watched this Albion Party, and I know I'm supposed to be triggered, I was agreeing with everything he said.
Yes. Except the stupid thumb of pout. I hate this thing. Like, I don't know what this is meant to be. Like, this means I'm strong. No, if you're too scared to point at somebody, you are not strong.
Does that make us right wing, Brendan, if we agree?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, make up what you want, I suppose, with these people. Honestly, I was watching it, I thought, well, I know this is supposed to be Nigel Farage. I can see what you're doing here. Yeah. And then I'm thinking, well, there's nothing wrong with that line. There's nothing wrong with that.
if they go, we are at war. It's like, well, they have just killed millions of us. So yes, what else would be? And also, in a show called The War Between Land and Sea, am I supposed to hate the guy that goes, we're at war? And everyone's like, no, we're not. It's like, no, we are at war. It says so in the title.
Yeah, and we need an ambassador we trust. That's all he's basically hinting at. But yeah.
Trust.
We were to hear from the ambassador.
From the ambassador.
Because he can hear everything.
Why is she from the Phantom Menace? She is the Queen of Naboo in this, isn't she? She's the ambassador. And God, that accent was bloody awful.
Also, in that scene, she complains about the lights being turned off, and then it turns out at the bottom of the ocean there is no lights. No. So this is just normal for you then.
It's because she fancies the new ambassadors and she just wants to kind of, shake her booty.
She saw his ears from across the room.
Yes, which she thinks are like sexy fins. So I think there's something in it. She spotted him across the room. It's love at first sight.
That was the thing. He took that as like a joke, but she probably, she could mean that seriously, actually. It's like, no, it's like us.
She's been, she's orifice to orifice. She's maybe fed him. She's maybe given him liquids. You don't know what she's done. He's a mug. He's an absolute. And then, of course, this. Now, I haven't really seen all of Aquaman. I'm sure you have. This is just a cheap Mickey take, isn't it, of Aquaman, isn't it? All this.
We are cleaning up your mess.
I love that anchor.
I hope they cleaned it up after they finished filming it.
Well, we haven't done the potholes. I doubt it, Rachel.
Oh.
This is the thing, though. You've got bin bags there. There is going to be tons of glass and crap. At no point did oil or anything get... They kept talking about excrement. You never sent that one back. But I thought what really topped it is when they put the Titanic in America. Like, that's not where it came from. It should be returned back to where it came from. Like... that means you haven't been tracking this. You just got all the rubbish and just dumped it on everybody. And so this isn't actually a justified act because we could be having stuff from other places that's moved around the ocean, got washed around by currents. You're not treating this fairly at all.
It was
I thought the Titanic thing was a reference to Ghostbusters when it turns up at the end of the film, as a ghost ship. I thought that's what it was a reference to.
It might be, but it would have been more impressive. Like, no, we tracked where all of your rubbish had been and we have returned it to you. It's like, no, actually, you just put it wherever it was closest.
And as somebody pointed out, that Titanic has been down in the water for so long now that there's algae, there's marine species that are growing on that, there's coral growing on that. So by throwing it onto the land, you've killed some of your own.
But they only put one half of it in.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't see the submersible either.
No, we didn't. Oh, they missed an opportunity there.
That's where I would have taken. This is the thing. If you're going to make the joke, you have to go the whole way or not make it at all. And it's like.
Oh God. So yes, let me just not scare people to death. We're not doing that twice. Don't worry. So. I mean, you mentioned this, Rachel, when I texted you, and we've made the same kind of note about watching the spin-off felt as though it was just like watching reality. It's just like watching the news.
It's so textual, isn't it? I just felt like it was just too close to home. Like Doctor Who, even old Doctor Who, new Doctor Who, they've gone down the route of doing things like capitalism and pollution and things like that in the past, but they've done it in a different way. They've told it in a different reality. In this, they've just gone, yeah, we're bad. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're capitalists. We pollute our country. And it's just too in your face. It's too blatant.
Well, I love the Green Party manifesto. Remember the Green Party manifesto? I thought, God, you're going there, BBC. You've had the Albion Party looking like the baddies, the Green Party manifesto. Then you had London streets empty, so pat on the back for Sadiq Khan, ULEZ is working. Yeah. The Birmingham City bin strike is shown. Then in a Cobra meeting, this is the British government. That advisor says, well, you know what the West is like. They always colonise and plunder. I don't want her working for the British government, slagging off the British people. Bog off. So she should have cleared off. She's taken too much money. You've got the imposter, we will give you citizenship if you go and get some
that was too close to home as well.
Yeah, I thought, what's this, a documentary?
Even then he's like, what about my mum? It's like, what do you mean about your mum? Like, you're not supposed to have this once.
Yeah.
Never enough.
Yeah, stop triggering us, you lot.
Yeah, if I want a story about how pollution is affecting like animals and in the water and all of that, let's get David Attenborough to actually do a documentary on it. Don't stop telling us. Show us something that is like different,
Well, yeah.
Take it out of the reality. I think that's what I would prefer. Take it out of the reality.
I mean, they tried, but if it comes down to a choice between me and sea people, I'm choosing me. Like, these people are horrible people. They didn't even attempt to be reasonable. It was, no, you can't go over oceans, you can't go above oceans. They didn't mention the Channel Tunnel, but I'm assuming that that's their stuff as well. So at least half, if not more, of our population would just starve to death instantaneously.
And this is not even the Sea Devils, though. The Sea Devils don't do that. They just want their planet back. That's all they want.
Well, I call them Sea Devils just because Russell Davis doesn't want me to. At this point, I'm just being big ignorant to him.
I've been doing that as well. In my reviews so far that I've done so far, Sea Devils all the way through. I'm not taking Homo Aqua because RTD told me to do so. I ain't doing it.
At this point, I can either piss off Russell T Davis or commit a hate crime. So I'm choosing Russell T Davis.
I would choose the same. But I'm quite like polite about it.
I do not trust the state.
I'm not saying you're rude, by the way.
Well, I don't trust the state to choose the latter option and get trust a judge to get the joke. I'm not just be like, stay away from that over there.
I don't swear much or anything like that. I'm not saying you're rude, just so you know.
Well, this is our tea break time, everybody, because I have to say, inspired by what Disparu does. I mean, there's amazing 40 to 45 minute videos of one episode, and
every week I'm like, this is going to be a shorter one. It never is, but I always attempt to make it shorter.
The way I was just like, with mine, I don't do as long as yours, but I was like, I'm going to do short ones for this.
So I've done a little TV roast, and it's just a trailer tonight, folks. So if anybody wants to get your cuppa, if you want to top up, go to the toilet and everything, it's 4 minutes of clips from the spin-off with my version of things, some of which we've discussed tonight already. But see you at the other side in 4 minutes, everyone. As the TV ratings continue to tank, the spin-off sinking into TV oblivion. It's the messaging to blame. We all know that. I mean, come on. Fancy recycling a Sontaran battlecruiser to make a point. We were clickbaited, Sarah. Mind you, the Deep did ask some fundamental questions.
Can I touch you?
What? We never had this with Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Now, he's introduced the thought of sex with a sea devil. What other Doctor Who monsters are in danger for a furtive frolic in the Crab Nebula?
Get every flight to the bridge area.
Yeah, I forgot about them. We forgot about them. Mind you, if you think that's a problem, Can I Touch You? This is nothing on part 4, The Witch of the Waterfall, in which it turns much more... I mean, the better title would have been 50 Shades of Blue.
I can regulate my body.
I'm sort of regulating my body for you too.
So I see.
The thing is, there's something that bothers me. Like, was there a scene that ended up on the cutting room floor that we've missed here? Did he do more than just a cheeky kiss? Away, man, I think he did.
Deeper than any human has ever been.
What is it with these writers? You never had this when the Doctor faced an erect Dalek plunger for the first time. But it got worse. We had shocking revelations from the Brigadier's daughter, Kate Stewart, after being given a cuppa and some biscuits by her man.
This morning I showered in the sink.
What? Did I hear that right? Put the custard creams away. You know what Kate needed. The stink doesn't just come from the River Thames. Case study 1. Mind you, Russell Tovey's character Barclay, being the star of the spin-off, he faced some very challenging personal moments that had him in tears. I mean, I don't blame him. His daughter transitioning into the Beano's Dennis the Menace for one. No, his bigger challenge was all the stress of being the human ambassador.
Because everyone's counting on me. It's the whole world.
He couldn't poo. He tried every position. He even farted through his mouth. Mind you, I will take no lectures from the Homer Aqua about our pollution, if you don't mind.
But they choked on your oil and poison and excrement.
Oh, and by the way, wasn't it RTD who seems to have an unhealthy fixation on poo? Remember the Space Babies?
This is balls.
No.
Yes.
No.
It's not.
And before we rush to judgment and do a victim kind of mentality on ourselves, nah. When Barclay at the end of the deep discovered their own homeworld is actually one giant cesspit, one giant toilet itself.
Oh, bloody hell.
I mean, I suppose living with someone, you do get to know them much faster than just dating them.
Look, I know you. I've known you forever.
It's the smell that lingers. Fish and chips Friday, anyone? Oh well, you know, this is it. We all give it a go. So that's my little TV roast, Disparu. Nothing on you, no patch on yours, but obviously, I don't know how you do it, Disparu. Do you actually have the video on and you just watch it and video?
Yes.
Yeah, and you just go at it. Oh yeah.
It's not all first takes. Sometimes you'll say something, and as you're saying something, you think of a better joke or you phrase it better, and so it's all there. But it's not planned or written or anything. It's all live reactions of the show. It's just kind of the best immediate live reaction. And it, like I say, the more things happen in front of me, it's why it goes on for so long. I always like I can skim over this scene, and then they'll say something really stupid that I forgot. I'm like, no, I need to talk about this, especially with this because. If you make a really bad argument, I want to argue against it, and so that's why these have made so many propaganda points throughout the episodes that my videos go on longer, just essentially giving the other side of the argument that they're trying to make. Like they keep talking about excrement, like everything craps in the ocean. Every single creature in the ocean craps. They do. So I expected to go down to their civilization and see like clean power generation, recycling plants. It's like turns out no, they don't have a civilization. They just swim about, and so obviously the crap in the ocean.
Yeah, we've all had a fish tank. We've all had to clear it out. We've all had, you know. And the same point, and yeah, I was expecting that, Disparu, and we just didn't go there, did we? We just didn't go there. So yes, confused messaging throughout. I never mind inconsistent characters. I just found so many things I was getting confused by regarding which side am I on? So the argument, Disparu and Rachel, right? The argument is the Sea Devils were here first. Remember in episode 1, I think the woman who went to St. Andrews, she made the point. It was a bit of exposition, and she said the Sea Devils were here first many years ago, and then apes grew and all the rest of it. So is this the argument about who's first? You know, the indigenous? Because if that's the argument, it's game over, because we all know where the political argument is nowadays. So you think, well, and so I'm very confused by what they're trying to do, because you said earlier, Disparu, you can't have a story where the humans are the enemy. Because it's not going to work. But there seems to be an argument that the indigenous are the sea devils, and we need to cede ground.
Their issue is because they could have done it where they were the indigenous underwater, and so they own the water and everything else, which is where they were going. But now they've introduced amphibian creatures. So why does she not understand land? Like, why did amphibian people not go onto the land? Why don't they have a colony somewhere on land? It's very strange that she lives down 5 miles underwater, but she's amphibious, but has never been above the surface. So everything about it's confused. And look, the indigenous thing, that greater civilizations have defeated their inferior civilizations throughout all of history. This has always happened, the technological ones won. And if you want to say that they are the technological species that would beat us in a war and therefore we have to do whatever they say, I could go along with that argument. If all the humans were saying, well, we can't obviously fight them because if we piss them off, they'll just kill us all, be like, that's actually a very reasonable argument, and you have to do what, essentially, people stronger than you say. It is far more, because the truth of reality is far more like the Starship Troopers universe, where he says force, the one true authority from which all others is derived. That is correct. You can have all your high and mighty ideals, but if someone can punch you in the face, then you'll go out the window, right? And that's not what they want to do. And so they can't even make the argument themselves, because Kate's like, well, we shouldn't attack them. And then, well, we should just attack these people randomly. But at the same time, they don't bring up the justified defense of, they want us to starve. The problem is they went too far on the sea creature side by saying, we want to kill hundreds of millions of you, and the first act they did was do it. And then they want to starve at least half of all the humans. That's when they lost the moral high ground, and now you've created a situation where the humans have to defend themselves, otherwise they just won't exist. As that they essentially went too far.
Yeah, poor diplomacy. Yeah. They over-egged the pudding. And they've forgotten that their cousins, the Silurians, are land dwellers. So they've just tipped all the litter onto the land where their cousins live, who they work together with in Warriors of the Deep. That makes no sense either, because they were the indigenous on the land, but they've now just littered the land. I'm sure the Silurians are going, what the hell have you just done that for?
Why can't we just have a basic Sea Devils story, like how they used to do it?
Do you know, Rachel, I was going to ask you and Disparu this, that what we've seen so far, and we can guess where it's going to head, what would you have loved to have had in the spin-off if it had the Sea Devils in? Because I would have loved it if there were lots of kind of guerrilla raids. There was that kind of subterfuge going on, and, people were going missing and boats were going missing, and you just had that kind of, there's a mystery element. And rather than I'll be interested what you both think, but every time I've seen a Doctor Who in the past, when they go heavy CGI, we'll show you the planet, you can't relate to it. It goes too big. The only way they can relate to it is by doing stupid news broadcasts and stupid tweets, and they do a little clip of that. I'm not interested. In the end, you need the human in the room. And I just think we should have gone smaller scale. One ship goes missing, a submarine goes missing, and little guerrilla raids by the Sea Devils. I'd have loved that.
Yeah, and I think that would have been absolutely fine. I think changing the Sea Devils to the extent that they've changed the Sea Devils for this, it's lost a lot of practicality. Like, sometimes less is more. Yeah. And they've taken it too far. They've changed the look altogether. They don't even look like Sea Devils. Don't know what this abomination is, but it's not a Sea Devil. And it's just, unfortunately, it's ruined it for me, and I won't ever watch this series again, just so you know.
No. Well, how many are we saying this about?
And if the not Silurian, the Sea Devil is going to look like this in the future, forget it. I ain't doing it.
It's as if they don't understand drama, though, because I honestly said earlier, I really don't understand who I'm supposed to relate to and follow. So it wasn't anybody in the Diving Bell. Barclay, I'm just all over the shop with. If I had time to put every single clip together, he just is up, down. I'm a hero woman. I'm this. Salt, no. She's obviously goes all over the shop. Kate, no. Shirley, no. And I could just go through the whole blooming team. So in other words,
so far the best character has been Tide. And that's it. The male, the male Sea Devil that's coming.
Well, it sometimes you need to see what you expect, and Tide gave us what we expected, but it was in part 4,
and it's too late by that point. And this is what I mean. What I was saying earlier, stuff like that should have happened much earlier. Tide should have been in end of part 2, maybe beginning of part 3.
But we're getting rhetoric instead of action.
And that's the problem. There's too much of this.
Yeah.
His kind of rhetoric made sense, though, because he brought the surprise of when they're like, well, if you're going to hurt her, we can't give her back. He's like, no, I don't want to ask for a return. I just want to ask that she faces justice. And it is like, it's the first base person of the show. It's like, she actually killed our people. Yeah, well, she let our people die, which they wouldn't have died because they can withstand the pressure. But they let our people die to save one of yours. That's a crime for our people. She can't favour you over us. And like, oh no, that actually makes sense because I want to see that in the humans.
That speech was really, really good, and then they ruined it after with that stupid little joke. I was just like,
I thought they ruined it by going, water is in the air, we have the power over rust.
Oh, did
and I'm
you?
like, why? What? Like, people develop technology because it's useful. What is the power over rust? It's like, I can destroy my own weapon. It's like, great. Like, who invented that? The thickest person in your civilization. It's like...
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that actually.
They never think about why.
I think I was just like impressed with the fact that we actually have the first semi-decent character come on screen.
You were
so late into it.
You were seeing so many little clues as to where they could go with the reset button that they'll try not to call the reset button. So they mentioned in one of the episodes the algae and the seaweed, and there's a kind of collective hive mentality. That you think,
no, that was a Star Trek reference. That was to please Kurtzman because over in Strange New Worlds they put the TARDIS. I don't know whether you knew.
Yes.
Yeah. So Kurtzman and Davis seem to love each other, and they both seem to love each other's series, even though all the fans of each series think they're awful. But they seem to have done crossover references. So they were referencing the first series of Star Trek Discovery, which is a ship that uses the not the midichlorians, that's Star Wars, or whatever it is, to travel across space. And they put the TARDIS in there. So it was just a reference.
Oh, right. Well, you see... But isn't this the point, Disparu and Rachel? I've seen a lot of people in my thread over the last few sessions talking about this, which is, you say it's not Doctor Who. It's a standalone. So never mention the Doctor. Never use Doctor Who creatures, just stand alone, do your own thing. But there's all these references that are assumed knowledge, aren't there? I mean, I get one or two jokes. I don't have to get them all or references, but there are so many references going on. I know they call them Easter eggs and all this crap, but no, they're not focusing on just moving forward with this as an entity on its own. They're not getting the drama right. They're not getting the jeopardy right. They're not getting audience engagement right. And yeah, they've got this is what I mean. It reminds me of 80s Doctor Who sometimes, where it's got all these little intertextual references. They're not needed. It's fan service. It's not moving us on.
I don't mind Easter eggs and references because the way I see it, if it's not necessary for the story, it's just there, and if you get the in-joke or whatever, then it's fine. Like the big fish comment. If that was there and she never explained it, some people would have found, oh, that was funny, I like this, and other people wouldn't have got it, and it wouldn't have affected anybody. For me, it's far more about the reason why the show exists. So this show exists to give you a story about environmentalism, rather than, because it's like, well, I don't want plastic in the water. I don't want forever chemicals in the water. I don't want to consume them. So you don't have to convince me of this, but you've gone way too far to the point where I will now argue against you. Like I say, if you have a multiverse, you can be like, well, I don't really want to hurt other people in this multiverse. But if only one of us can survive, it's going to be mine. and so I have no other option. It's just, I just think they needed somebody to go, what are you doing? Like, this isn't entertainment. They've got a guy whining at these people for 30 minutes about they're bad people. That's not entertainment.
They had me won in the first 10 seconds of part 1. Because what human on the planet likes to hear that a dolphin or whale has been caught in nets, shark nets and everything, and killed? And so when you saw that sea devil shot, trapped in you had me won. Because I thought, no, I can see the point. This is us going too far, overfishing or whatever. I'm there. But they've just overburdened it with every single thing. Like you say, excrement, microplastics, this, that, and the other. And in the end, and then add a war on top.
That's
and
why I felt like it was like the news, It was so like in your face, and it was too blatant that it becomes unwatchable when you do things like that. Pull it back.
You know the one thing they didn't care about? The guy that got first shot at the start. They didn't mind. At no point have they cared about him. We've seen her babies now, which are like these choked on your excrement. Now we find out they breed in their thousands, and so 2 eggs is hardly a big deal. Now we find out that actually they filter out all the crap that they had a problem with, and it's like, I was with you when that guy shot him. I think whichever country did that, we should do this. We should, like, I'm all like, yeah, don't go out and shoot random sea creatures. That sounds like a good idea. But why are you complaining to me about it? Because he wasn't English. It's you targeted at the wrong people, and so you're choosing a very narrow message at the English people on a whole international problem.
Yeah,
I'm like, look, if you want to complain about a foreign nation producing all this crap, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm supposed to do about it though. I'm just sitting here watching television.
That's what I mean. You know, I remember doing even lessons talking about that plastic island in the Pacific somewhere. It's about a mile or so wide now. It's massive. And you think, well, what's caused that? Who's dumping in the oceans? I don't approve of it. But he seems to have in his plot, I've got to have an issue about the River Thames and Thames water. That's his big issue. Like
there isn't other water companies. There isn't other water companies in the country, but that's the one that he has experience with, which is why he wrote it into his story. All of this is done from their experience, which is why you get things like talking about the tides or undercurrents or humanity, because it's all written from his perspective. It's like, you need somebody. The writers of this can't abstract an alien species and think from them. They can't simulate a new species. And so now we just get essentially Mancurian underwater species complaining about Thames water.
Well, hallelujah, it wasn't sea devils coming up the canal street. It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
But surely, you know, before all of this plastic apocalypse kicked off, you know, the Thames was already contaminated really badly anyway. Because people used to do all sorts of stuff in the Thames way, way, way before plastic was invented. So, you know, it's kind of irrelevant, really. It's always been like that.
And we've all travelled the world. You go to some places and you're going, oh my God, look at this river. I'm not going anywhere near that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is it coincidence that they had an Indian diplomat here? Because like there are some countries which are stereotyped more than others.
You know, I didn't even make that connection.
This is the thing. I don't think they did, because I think if they had made that connection, they wouldn't have put it in. And it's one of the problems. If you want to have take a position on this, it has to be you either take it all or nothing. So are you going to talk about how she was bothered about her eggs being destroyed, but humans aren't? Are you going to talk about the forever chemicals that come from the pill that go into the water and the hormones that would be changing the gender of these people down at the bottom of the ocean? No, you're not going to do that. But these people, there's a reason why people are concerned about frogs turning all male, because there's too many female hormones in the water. And it's like, you can tie this to reality, but if you're going to go the entire way, because we would be destroying them, and they would have far bigger issues than just sewage, which seems to be the least of the problems in the water when it comes down to it.
But it's that thing of just throwing it in then for the sake of talking about it and then just not following it through. They've already hit the reset button. We've already now got a fishy lady on the run with a man, and they're already engaged in bestiality. You know, I mean, it's completely changed, isn't it? They ain't going to care about the plastic anymore.
But she was an appalling diplomat, right? Representing the human planet, we say he's a shrub from the highest mountain, right? She says, here's 2 eggs of my stillborn. You think, hey, whoa, love, this is not how you do diplomacy. That's really aggressive gesture, that. And as Disparu said, it's a little bit kind of, you know, insincere, because let's face it, you could produce thousands more, so it's hardly affected you. But yeah, here's a gift from planet Earth, from us apes, and she goes, here's 2 of my, you know, here's 2 of my stillborn. You think, whoa, right?
It just shows that when talking about it in more detail, because this is really the first time I've talked about it in a lot of detail with other people, that how much the sea devils have truly been undermined and changed for the purpose of this story. They just don't work.
And remember, she cared so much about her babies that she left them with the humans, who immediately started doing scientific experiments on them. And I'm like, how much were you really that bothered about those 2?
Yeah. I'm handing them over. They were a gift, because, like you say, Disparu, she hands them over. It's like, you can do what you want with them. Shocking, absolutely shocking. Again, inconsistent, doesn't make sense, which is why I'll throw these figures at you, which you've seen, which I
haven't seen them yet. I haven't written my next video.
Well, this is the first one that you have done, which is, I'm just reminding people.
Okay. I haven't seen the recent ones.
I mean, we're already dealing with 2 to 3 million, aren't we? 1.34 million switched off. The Those are the averages. I love the averages. How to polish a turd. I tell you what, they took the first 5 minutes from Strictly, which was way higher, and they move it into the average. I mean, our way. And they all go and they go, you're all moaning about this. 2.83 it was not. So yes, that there you go there. You can see me and Rachel have done many of these discussions, haven't we, Rachel, where we just
it winds people right up.
But Disparu,
the thing is,
it's
it's like if you weigh yourself and you want to lose weight, just 1 week weigh yourself without any clothes on. But the next week, you're going to have to weigh yourself without your clothes on again. And over time, you now have to adjust to the new pattern. And so, yeah, you can make 1 week out of it occasionally by including the benefits. But as soon as everyone starts doing it relative to all the other weeks, it's over.
Yeah. But you see, the one thing I pull back on sometimes, Disparu, me and Rachel have done so many of these, but I always find, because the pattern's the same with Doctor Who and this spin-off, that basically you start there and then it tanks. Is this because it's sci-fi? Is there a bigger problem here? That actually you inherit an audience, of course, but we don't build an audience in sci-fi under RTD. We don't seem to build it. We hemorrhage it. We lose it. Because every time, I almost know what I'm going to see. Every time I get a 5-minute breakdown, you're hemorrhaging an audience. But Traitors doesn't hemorrhage an audience. Line of Duty doesn't hemorrhage an audience. Game of Thrones doesn't hemorrhage an audience. So, you know, but I feel as though I'm just on repeat cycle, Disparu and Rachel.
And these viewing figures are consistent with the last 2 series as well, so that tells you a lot.
It's because it's basic human psychology. There's a reason why we watch stories. Stories are essentially there to teach people how to behave, or to teach people give them the benefit of experience without having to live through the dangerous situation. You don't have to go to war because you can learn about what happens in war through a story, or you can learn that you shouldn't trust these people, or maybe you should do this, or this is the way that you live your life. What people don't relate to and don't watch is, you're an evil person and I think you should change. I can't learn anything from that, especially if the story is coming from someone that I think is evil. Well, obviously, I'm going to reject it. And if none of the people in this story act how they would in real life, my brain will reject it because I have nothing to learn from those people. And so no one's going to watch. And they've always said that they've always thought that they can change culture through stories. Turns out you can't, because there are certain stories that resonate with humanity. Yeah. And if your morality is opposite that, then people just don't care. They will just switch off. And it's why you may have been able to say, like, put some part of this message into a story, but not all of it. Not this strong, and not your like ideology.
No. Yeah, not like this. That's his biggest problem.
Yeah, so 4 parts, and I could pick any and you see the same pattern, but I put in green there. The 5.62 is really Strictly's audience inherited, and suddenly the Doctor Who audience looks very, very, very different. I say Doctor Who, the war between the land and the sea. And so the figures are shocking. I took the core of the program, which are the ones who really are sitting watching it, and that was 1.69. It was not high at all. And of course, all the shills had been saying, but Brendan, how dare you slag off part 2 and part 4? Part 2, we had I'm a Celebrity final. Well, you didn't with part 4. You know, they keep coming with excuses. And Disparu and Rachel, if you really think you're up against serious opposition, you put your best programmes against it, or you wave the white flag. Sometimes ITV and BBC used to do that. You know, Saturday nights ITV would give to BBC in the 70s. But you don't then come up with an excuse later on. Oh, well, we're up against... Well, you know what you're up against. And you lost. End of.
It's not even that... It's not even, well, they went off and watched I'm sorry, if you can't beat I'm a Celebrity as a TV show, what are you doing? Like, that's been on for years as well, and it's the same thing every year. If you're saying that you can't beat reality television, something that was only invented because the American writers went on strike and they needed something to fill the airwaves because no one was writing actual television now, what are you doing? You're basically just going, we know we're worse than reality television. None of it makes any excuse, because however you spin it, they're not watching the show. I don't really care why they're not watching the show. It's the same thing with people go, well, people aren't watching it because of the casting, and they don't like this casting, or they don't like this group. It's like, well, if that's your argument, now you're saying that they shouldn't be in the show. Like, however you spin it, you're saying you shouldn't put it in this time shot, or you shouldn't write this story, or people you don't like this. I don't really care why they're not watching. That's your job. It is not my job as the audience to worry about why you're not getting viewers. I could just be like, I don't like it. The viewers prove that I'm correct. Change it. It is your job to solve the problem.
But this seems to be the problem, and you discuss it on many other programs, Disparu, with the American angle as well, which is basically, in essence, we've got program makers nowadays globally who seem to be ignoring the audience, and they're more in the position of saying, no, you need to know this. You need to be told this.
There was a guy who described it as, I must feed you your vegetables, which I thought was very enlightening, because that's how you talk about a child. The child must eat their vegetables before they can get to the good stuff. There was something in Stranger Things as well, where she was like, well, your racist uncle can't actually avoid Stranger Things. And I'm like, now you're just saying, I know you don't like this, but I'm going to give it you anyway. But if you deliberately make a show that you know that people don't want, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Garbage. People aren't watching our show, they are watching the other stuff, so you admit the other stuff is better. Yeah, well, that's another way of looking at it. Now,
So if you took all of this stuff out of its reality and just set it with not all of it, but like just sort of like in outer space or something like that, it would come across so much better than hammering it in, because you can just make an allegory for it rather than being so blatant with it, and your views would probably go up.
Yeah, because
that's optimism. Very low optimism.
Because putting it in contemporary Earth and trying to get the normal punter watching, and then having him basically, having it off.
Well, I know all that already. I know we got a problem with pollution. I know our government can be corrupt. We know we got capitalism. We know we got this. We know we got that. Why you need to tell us that? You do it every day.
A lot of the time, they're the problem. They make a problem that then causes the solution. So, like, if you have a problem with excrement, the problem with excrement is that our plants can't handle the amount of stuff that the number of people in the country are making. And so, are you supporting my side then? Because if you're not supporting my side, what are you doing? You're the one causing the problem, then moaning about the problem. Now, Star Trek did it a different way. Star Trek, there's a Star Trek time where a guy makes nanobots, they get into the ship's computer, multiply, become sentient, but the Star Trek people are like, we need our computer or we're all going to die. You're turning off our life support. And so they learn to communicate with the thing and find it a new planet. And that could be used as an allegory for colonialism. The problem is, what they've pitched there is an idea, and an idea can go many ways, and you can take the thing from that idea that they don't want you to take, and so they could use it for colonialism, but I could just use it for something else, and that's what they don't like. They want to spell it out because they have to lead you through the logical loopholes that lead to their point of view, rather than giving you the idea, examining it, and allowing you to decide where you fall on it. They can't trust you to do that because you will come to the wrong conclusion from their point of view.
Of course they will.
Well, Stephen O'Neill here is advising us next week. Royal Variety Performances on ITV against a spin-off. So this has been interesting. I wonder if ITV are playing a blinder, actually, because, I'm a Celebrity Final, trumped it. Royal Variety is a funny one. I mean, but I have to say,
I'll be watching. I won't be watching The War Between the Land and the Sea. I'll watch the Royal Variety, if anything.
Well, I'm not interested in the cliffhanger. The best cliffhanger was the assassination bit, really.
Yes,
but
I agree.
A man shouting over a bridge, "I'll find you," to a fish is not really going to pull people back against a stand-up comedian, some acrobats, and going to bed early. It's just not going to happen. And so when Louise Griffin... Sorry,
I was about to say, the cliffhangers have been so mundane.
Oh, I know, but I'm so aggrieved, Rachel, at the cliffhangers because they've decided let's have them now. We're not allowed them in Doctor Who, but now let's have them in our own show.
They weren't very good. They were rubbish.
Well, they are rubbish. The best one, like I said, at the end of part 3, I think they muted it like RTD always does. Remember Stolen Earth? He had 4 cliffhangers. He had Tortured Under Attack, Sarah Jane was going to be exterminated, David Tennant was regenerating. He had 3 or 4 brilliant cliffhangers, and he decided to dilute the effect because he's a drama queen. What he needed to do was just focus on one. And I think that part 3 of The Deep fell into that camp. You could have had the bomb going off in one cliffhanger, and you could have had the assassination in another. Surely a good writer could have phased it.
That's an issue.
You have to set things up. So if they'd actually swam the people down to the depths, that would have set up the fact that she can save them swimming up to the surface. But instead, we had no idea that they could be saved. You essentially had a mystery box that you just magic somebody out of a solution, which everyone just starts to assume that that's what's going to happen. So now when you have another cliffhanger, I'm going to assume that you're going to magic some other solution to that rather than have something serious. And when people don't do the logical answer... So, we're trapped on a bridge with a sea person. I've already jumped into the Thames and escaped this way before. I'm going to do it this time. What they should have done is immediately jumped off the bridge, but this time they were prepared, they were ready. There's a submarine in the water that was going to kill them if they swam away anything, and just outsmart them. And instead you're left with thinking everyone's an idiot. Oh, I'm going to stay on the bridge to protect my ex-wife, who isn't in any danger, rather than the love of my life that I was with yesterday. It's like, if I was Salt, I would be really pissed that you chose your ex-wife over me. I was like, no way.
Now, I don't know what the etiquette is in a domestic relationship with a fish, but honestly, when I...
Well, we will never know, will we? Because it's illegal.
I think I'm going to learn. But in that fireside chat in part 4, you know, the classic RTD trope where basically we always have to go rogue, go subterranean. When they're in that warehouse, wherever they were, in London, of course, and she starts screaming and smashing windows.
Yeah, like a child.
Yeah, and also giving your position away. I'm like, what? What do you do? Slap her? Is that allowed? I mean, what do you do? You're going, what are you doing?
They would have done. That's exactly what you said. And it would have been like, look, this is more important. But now there's an attitude. They never do what you should do. It's like, no, I don't care how you want to behave. You have to do this because this is happening, and you have to behave this way to fit in. Now it's like, no, I want to scream, so I'm going to scream. I want to feel good about myself, so I'm going to feel good about myself. It's like, well, I would have just had them reported to police at that point to be like, well, there are consequences to your actions.
Mind you, there was a little irony when she said, I love glass. I can get you a goldfish bowl if you want. But she's obsessed with glass and metal, isn't she, suddenly? I don't know what all that's about. Louise Griffin, who did the Radio Times review of the first 2 episodes, now she said this series is make or break for Doctor Who. So I think I know where we're heading here. It's sink or swim, make or break. This could turn the tide for Doctor Who.
That. They do it with Marvel and everything. It was. I think my favorite one was. I think it was the Irish Times reviewed the Marvels with "This disappears up its own black hole."
I mean, I suppose, yeah, she's sitting on the fence because she hasn't seen the rest, yeah. But the answer is clear to me, which is it hasn't recharged, it hasn't rejuvenated the brand. It's the same old, same old, same old. It's just we've never mind excrement and sewage and litter. We've actually put lots of Disney pounds or dollars down the money.
I tell you what, had Kate not been in this and they hadn't mentioned the Doctor a couple of times, I wouldn't have known this was a Doctor Who spin-off. Wouldn't have had a clue. And I've watched Doctor Who since I was a child.
That's not actually how you do spin-offs. So, like, if you take Stargate as the example, they always launch the spin-off in the original show. They would do, like, a test episode that was the pilot. So if people didn't like it, they could just kill it immediately. And then they launched it with the original characters to get the old audience over to the new thing, and then it moved on to its own. So there's a way to set this up. And just being like, we're going to build this from scratch. It's like, well, the time to do that is not when your other thing is also dying. That's a really bad idea.
Well, I think we've covered nearly everything regarding plot holes. The only other plot hole that we haven't said, but we've all said on our separate streams before, is about they could have, if they had that power to do that litter thing, they would have done it earlier. Not waited for a diplomatic exercise. If she can do that sonic scream to stop humanity, why didn't they do that earlier? Every Sea Devil could have done that globally, just to make a point. Meanwhile, we sat in Mallorca trying to make first contact with them with this boom machine. All we had to do was just wait for them to go. I'm not quite sure, again, what the point of all this is really regarding... I thought it was first contact with the Sea Devils. I thought that's where we were going. Then romance heals the world, might be where we're going. I really don't know where we're meant to be heading. And like I say, we've had 80% of the script now.
And the next one's RTD, yeah?
Yep.
We're doomed.
Yep.
It's not going to go well. That's it. It's over.
It'll be fast.
The only thing that
yeah.
brings peace this spontaneously, like in one episode, is some massive weapon. Like some thing of extreme force. And you can't have the Sea Devils dominate the Earthen people. That is not a good story. Like, oh, by the way, you're all scum and you lose. That no one will like that ending. They can't suddenly go, well, there's peace now. Why? I don't know. I mean, but you've killed hundreds of millions of us. You're gonna have to pay for that in some kind of way. No, they're not. So like the nuclear bombs end a war. It's that kind of thing that has to happen. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing. You could have introduced it where they gently the rubbish starts getting washed out of the ocean onto beaches, and it just keeps piling up and be like, what's going to happen? The moment the Sea Devils came in and just be like, we're going to drop all this on you and kill loads of you. Don't know where you go from there except violence, because you chose the violence. You can't blame the humans for dumping stuff into the water if they don't know you exist. And UNIT were the only people that knew they existed. So UNIT are the people to blame for this.
And my concern is, because it's an RTD script for episode 5, is, as you were saying about clumsily written plots, Disparu, RTD sometimes in his final episode will mention something that's never been mentioned before as the solution. And that's exactly the point you were making earlier, that there's no engagement there because that's cheating.
There'll be some kind of magic button, is what it normally is.
Yeah. Or that time hotel door, that amazing time hotel door that just appeared to save him from a falling balcony. That was stunningly crap.
There's no like setup to the resolution, like a bit early on, sort of like Colin Baker story, Mark of the Rani, where he sabotages the Rani's TARDIS and one of the parts, and then it comes into fruition a little bit later on of like how he defeats her and all that. It's not going to happen, is it? It's just going to be that. That's it. That will do.
Because it's focused on Russell Tovey and Salt. So unless those are the two that solve it somehow, and they're both hated by their people at this point, both of them see them as traitors. So that it's not as if they can go, well, we're our diplomatic leaders that came to a resolution. Because everyone's like, well, they want Salt dead. Well, why would they listen to her if she came back and went, no, they're good guys now? It's like, well, you got captured by the humans. They could have done anything to you.
They do have some sneaky time jumps, though. Part 3 did that, didn't they? Because the training took a while. Then we're in the diving bell. There were certain moments where you thought, actually, we've jumped a lot in time. So I'm assuming episode 5 could do the same silly trick. He's done it before, RTD. He's had Martha Jones going around the planet, whispering in everybody's ears and all the rest of it. So this time, we could have their relationships moved on. They've had children. They've had thousands of them. She could have spawned an army. This could go.
I would support that. If she spawned an army and took over the Earth, I'd be like, this is amazing.
Knowing RTD, this is very
like, look, I think both sides are horrible. We're just going to start again. I'll be like, okay, I didn't see that one coming.
Oh, well, on that note, we've had a fun 2 hours there. So, Rachel, Queen of the Walk, what are you up to? I'm guessing from what you said, your rating show is going to come up in the next day or two.
Saturday.
So go on then. What's happening on your channel, Rachel?
I've literally just the War Between the It's a Doctor Who themed week this week. War Between the Land and the Sea. Ratings on Saturday, and then my classic Key to Time. I'm doing Key to Time at the moment.
Oh yes.
So that will be up when I've rewatched it, because I haven't done that yet. I'm a bit behind, I must admit.
What are you up to? Which one?
I don't know. I can't remember. Was it The Power of Kroll?
The Power of Kroll with all the green makeup.
Yeah, so I'm not really covering woke. Yeah, Power of Kroll. I'm not really covering woke news at the moment, mostly because of all of this going on. So I've kind of just rested it and go back to it in the new year. But yeah, War Between the Land and the Sea, Power of Kroll, ratings, and then just some like light news on a Monday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Chat about it, don't shout about it. Queen of the War. There she is.
Oh, and now I've changed my schedule actually, so I'm now releasing Thursday through to Monday at 4 p.m.
At least you have a schedule. I make mine up. I wake up and go,
I
what
do
am I
it
doing?
easy. I do it that way because obviously I don't at the moment because I'm signed off, but I work, so I have to. It's easier for me
Yeah.
that way.
I'm just a lone rogue. Whereas Disparu does have a busy schedule. We know where you are half the week, and we await your reviews. You've done your part 4 one. Has that gone out now? Did you say?
No, part 3's gone out. 4 may just merge into part 5. I don't know, because nothing really happened in the episode. I watched it today, and I'm like, well, it resets right at the start. This is just a story about a guy falling in love with a fish for most of it. So.
Oh, we'd love you to do a separate one, though, really.
Well, it's the same with All's Fair. All's Fair released episodes so fast I can't keep up with them. And so I just said, I'll do some kind of summary thing at the end, I guess.
Well, they've been really. I have to say, I know. Me and Rich were talking about your reviews because we've started them, but we didn't want to kind of feed our. We're going to enjoy watching them now.
I can't wait to actually watch them once I've watched all the others because I don't watch
Yeah.
other people's reviews until I've done my own.
Yeah, that's
but because it's one big story, so I've been putting it off, but I will be watching it and look forward.
Oh
to
yeah,
it is like one of the moments in episode 1, I think, where they're all marching with guns to go and see the fish people, or the dead corpse of a fish, and she's just holding an MP5 at all of her friends down the line. And I'm like, did you not have any military people on this at all? She's like aiming targets at them, but she's not even looking down the sight at people. It's like,
I'll leave you a comment when I've watched it, so you know I've watched it.
So there you go. There's a lot of fun ahead, and I'm gonna see what I can do. So yes, you know me, everybody, with a sense for you. I'm like a nimble sea devil from the 70s. Somewhere I appear on the schedule, but you never know when. So everybody, obviously I will be here Sunday at 10 o'clock to do you know me, I can't pronounce my R's and W's like Jonathan Ross, so I called it a raw reaction. Why didn't I call it a first impression? So
they were really mean to him, weren't they? Call him Jonathan Ross with a guy that can't pronounce R's and S's. I'm Jonathan Ross. It's like, wait.
Change your name, yeah. So thank you. That's been fun, Disparu. Thank you for coming on again. Descending into the sense for you. Thank you again for I mean, it's great, isn't it, Rachel, to see us back? And Rachel, it was Rachel who pointed out Disparu all that time ago and said, Disparu as mentioned you, Brendan. And I said, God, I'm not mad on YouTube at that point. Now I'm discovering everybody. Now I know Disparu. I know Disparu pretty well. Now I watch his stuff. But I didn't at the time. I'll be honest with you, Disparu. You know, when you shouted me out last year at some point.
Yeah, I like to do it because when I do reviews on stuff, I make mine and then I go around and review other people's. So with lots of shows, I've discovered various different channels of just whatever. It tends to be stuff like this where they're really in depth on something smaller. Where I prefer to cover a wide variety of things. Stuff I've always been interested in, but if it relates to something I'm interested in, then I'll do the series and then cover other things at the same time.
Yeah. I know it's how we discover each other, isn't it? But yeah, no, and so Rachel was kind of the medium. You know, you kind of said, "Did you know?" And I went, "I didn't," and then the rest is history. And thank you very much.
Well, it's like when you've mentioned me, like, well, thanks for putting me in the video. It's like, well, the clip was from your show, so obviously I'm gonna give you the credit. It's like.
Actually, the bit you picked from that Rogue one, I was so peed off. I remember because that was it. There was no script in sight, as you probably gathered. I was furious with what I'd seen, and yeah, and that's what you got. You got an authentic moment, I suppose.
I think it was because a lot of people are like, well, how do you find clips? Well, a lot of them I have either watched the thing so I know the clip, or you could just click through to moments. He's like, I know this is going to be a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I did 3 shows on that Sunday. I was just
3.
Yeah, because I was fuming. I did one at midday. I did one at tea time. I was just fuming, Rachel. I was fuming with that one. Rogue
made by people that didn't know anything about Doctor Who. They obviously they preferred the dancing show, whatever it is, the period drama, and so all they did is turn Doctor Who into that. It's like, well, who thought that was a good idea?
Terrible.
Oh, well, thank you both. And hopefully I can get you both on again sometime. But thank you, everybody in the thread. You've been very busy. I've tried to keep up with you, and we'll do it all again. If I don't see you both, have a Merry Christmas. See you later.
Merry
Bye.
Christmas.
I'll see ya.
Bye.
RTD wants sensory shut down. Those hoopettes have had the last hand up them. Time to die. This is giving me the creeps. This never happened on finger bombs. One by one, they're all mine. They don't like it up 'em. All this walking, I wish I had my Benidorm motor scooter. Cry havoc!